Welcome back to the Tall Tale Tavern, the monthly one-shot adventure TTRPG podcast. I am your tavern master and host, Kyle. This month is a level 6 adventure set in the cyberpunk setting. I think last time I said level 7, and I don't know if we fixed that in the recording, but it's a level 6 adventure, and we are using the free Homebrew Technomancer's textbook that Mogrit provided for everybody. That's the author of this, and it's a free resource. And it provided all the homebrew we needed to run this 5e adventure set in the cyberpunk universe. And joining me at the bar, back at the bar this month, is Tim, aka Landfell. Welcome back, sad boy, frontman for the band Red Weather. Looking forward to seeing some big critties. Welcome back, Landfell.
Still waiting on those. Still waiting
on the critties, yes. We're all waiting.
You had the opportunity to change your intro, and you decided, no, stick with
I didn't get to see any big critties last session, so I'm still waiting. I'm still anticipating.
Fair enough.
Ballista Kitty is here as well, aka BK, goer of Renaissance festivals and gaming/comic conventions, player of games like Destiny 2 and D&D, enjoyer of cosplay. Welcome back, Kitty. How are you?
I'm super. Thank you.
Good. I'm glad that you play D&D, and that's that in your intro. I'm glad that that's there because
yes,
it's
in case they didn't know. Now they know.
And we have Scott, the only man I'm interested in cybering with. Oh, welcome, Scott.
Weird way to phrase it. Thanks, Kyle. Great to be here.
Do people still say cybering? I don't know.
For a second, I was wondering if he had just said "This is Scott," and then long pause.
It took me a second to get to his text, and then returning back for the podcast for our DM, our resident rules lawyer has been promoted to rules judge. James/Mav, welcome back.
It's good to be here.
It is good to have you. This is our 8th adventure for the podcast, and so let's go to the tavern, shall we? And we go back to Neo Tokyo, through an alley and down a staircase to the 23rd century Earth franchise of the Tall Tale Tavern. Our storyteller, the savagely scarred thug, with a cybernetic eye and cybernetic hand, sips on his sake/psychotropic amphetamines/synthesized sugar, and continues the tale about the underground AI road and how it changed the face of New Lisbon forever. It's Crowning AI-chievement! Roll the intro!
So as we rejoin the party, we filter through the clientele of the Tech Noir nightclub. It's a rough crowd, black leather and overt cybernetic implants to go with the high-octane, high-powered motorcycles parked outside. The ultraviolet, super spectrum, and sub-infrared lights flash intermittently in time with the beat, which is fast, pulsating, and aggressive. The dance floor is packed with all manner of people. It seems even in a bar this rough, there are street toughs of all genders and sexes ready to sweat in a drug and music-fueled ecstatic haze. The party that has met Paolo's contact, a waifish, pale young woman, covered in mostly a small skirt and a shirt that says "Obey," which is drenched with sweat, giving all too clear a view of what she might look like completely naked. She's still dripping in sweat, still leaning over the plasteel table she's just slid a data stick across. Her eyes are steady on the party. She licks her lips, slouches back into the plush seating of the alcove booth, eyes scanning the bar. Her voice is smooth, enticing, siren-like. Y'all should get going. I expect we may have company any moment. It won't have escaped the Corp's notice that you made it out of lockup with our Dragofato friend, Paolo. For the first time, you notice her eyes have shifted color into a deep, glowing blood red. The Corps see everything you know. She gives you a wink, slugs back her drink, and stands up as the pulsing music starts to rise again. Leaving the alcove as her bandmates fall in behind her, she saunters back toward the stage, ready to start the second part of their set. As the party looks through the crowd, leather biker jackets studded with spikes, rotating holographic displays, and glowing tattoos rule eminent over this crowd. As Paolo's contact steps back up to the microphone, the pulsing drum and bass filtering effortlessly into their first song, she growls into the microphone. I'm Cosmic Ray, and we are the Lost Boys. As they start their first song, she slides down the stage, crouching down, and cups the chin of a young woman with a purple mohawk who's dancing. And the party notices when the dancing woman turns around, her eyes are red now too. And as the press of bodies on the dance floor continues, the red eyes spread quickly across the floor, carried by body contact.
The virus. I don't know.
It's rapidly spreading pink eye. It's conjunctivitis. That's not what Ben Biofuel would say. That was...
So as the music rises and the band starts to shift into their second set, you notice that there are some new faces in the bar that are definitely not fitting the vibe. One is clad in a brown over-engineered duster with long black hair tied back in a half knot, a glistening, heavily modified flak jacket under his long coat, and a sheathed katana held across one shoulder. To his left is a figure so still and hidden in shadow that you almost don't see him at first. Cloaked in a sleek, adaptive nanofiber suit that seamlessly melds with the darkness, a cyber ninja stands at the street samurai's shoulder, the glint of monomolecular-edged kunai attached to his belt flashing in the infrared and UV lights of the club. His face is obscured by a high-tech, face-concealing mask adorned with a subtle LED display that glows with cryptic symbols. And finally, behind these two enforcers, eerily floats a technomancer. The ley lines of the web are so easily accessible to her you can almost see them flicker in and out of your vision around her, spreading out in all directions. You can see the subtle shimmering of mage armor already cloaking every inch of her nanoweave clothing, clusters of holographic codes swirling down each arm, responding to her every whim. The floating technomancer's eyes glow with a luminescent intensity, reflecting the streams of data they process in real time. Implants embedded in her brain allow them to interface directly with the virtual realm, but you can see, at this moment, she's searching the real realm.
I can assume that she can probably see my mage armor if I do not quickly hide or.
So they haven't noticed you. They haven't noticed you yet. They're standing kind of on the other side of the club. The dancing, pulsing mass of club goers are between you and these three enforcers. And for now, they haven't seen you yet.
Who picked up the stick? Did we discuss that last time?
Ooh, I don't remember.
I think it's still lying on the table.
I grab it.
Okay.
Put it in my deepest pocket and say, we have company behind us and they can probably see anything magical about us. Including me, we should get out of sight immediately.
Magical? So, you feeling all right? Because I don't think there's any magic.
I have the magic, and there's another technomancer up there, and they don't look like they fit in, and I feel like we should bounce. So I move away.
Okay. So I want everybody to roll perception checks.
Oh my gosh! I gotta have the beyond open. What am I doing? That's the one thing.
I got a 19.
Okay.
24 for me. I'm very perceptive.
You are?
Dirty 20.
Nice.
9.
Okay. Dasher too entranced by the lights.
I was gonna say, I'm actually just kind of into this song. I'm just dancing over here. Like, yeah.
You said let's bounce, and Dasher's bouncing already. Huh?
So the three of you that are paying attention not to the music but to the imminent danger on the other side of the club notice that there is a side door that's accessible through the side, like it's off to the side of the stage, and it looks like you can get there without much trouble, but you will be in kind of line of sight of these enforcers while you're trying to make your exit. On the other hand, there is the main club entrance, which is behind the enforcers. And you can see the doors kind of hanging open. You recall that the door, when entering this club, you ran up against a pretty beefy, capable-looking bouncer and you do not see him at the door, and the door's just kind of hanging open as if it's not tended. So you can really only see at this point two ways out.
What do I have that can help us in this situation? Is there anyone like close to the people that just entered? Like, how far are they?
In fact, as people have kind of like, as they came in and people have started to notice them, you notice there's like a no man's land. There's definitely a few feet circle around them where nobody is daring to go close. Because as you know, people are there to dance, people are there to drink. They are not necessarily there to go to war. And these three are radiating threats.
Hey,
it's hard to
Viper.
know if they're after us. Oh, yes.
Earlier, we both got that knack thing we can do. We can maybe make a distraction, head towards the door. I think we got to get out of here. This red light spreading these people, it's not good in here.
So, how
Less
would you...
concerned about the red light than the people that are threateningly at the door.
Yeah, we can do that knack thing. I can make one of these audio devices change to a different song, maybe something that upsets the crowd, and maybe you do a shower or something with some sparks on one of the monitors. I don't know.
Yeah.
How would you feel about making the lead singer deaf for a moment? I feel like that would cause a distraction.
Just turn off the music completely.
Just for her.
Using that.
That would almost be like her in-ear monitors dying or something during a performance. That'd be horrible.
I feel like that would cause a commotion.
Yeah, so I can cause an audio device you can see to play sounds of your choice for up to an hour with this cantrip.
I just turn around. Y'all talking about you need a distraction? I'm holding a pipe bomb in my hand.
Well, no. We're good. We got this. So, Tekken name, Ben.
Yeah.
Is there a specific thing you're wanting to do, like
I'm gonna
power
change
sparks
the music
or turning off the power?
So I'd like to do so I'd like to change
lights?
the music that's playing, so it like suddenly as the music builds to like to something, I would flip it and it just starts saying, it goes do 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 do. Do, 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 do. The wheels on the bus go round and round, like just a kid's song that just starts playing is what I want to change the music to.
Okay.
Do we want no lights, or do we want to blind them?
I like the blind. Well, because you can make them
Not necessarily blind, but I feel like I was wanting to like make some lights just like flare up around them, so that they kind of get just like, what's the word? Flash bombed or whatever.
Yeah, they're disoriented, I guess.
Yep.
Like a flashbang style thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like burn their retinas real quick.
Just burn their retinas real quick.
Okay.
They've got conjunctivitis. Now they're
So using that.
I mean, if you need a
that,
flashbang, I still have one of those too. I mean, we just
Dasher. Put it away.
Oh, all right.
Lord.
All right. So are you going to cast in conjunction? Not conjunctivitis, but in conjunction.
And then we're gonna run out the side door.
Okay.
We're just gonna like.
So Ben has already described for us how the music reaching a crescendo, as the bass quickens, as the pulsing of the music rises to what the crowd expects to be an epic drop. It abruptly, like there's like not even a record scratch. It's just like, and then a children's song, "The Wheels on the Bus," starts blasting out of the speakers. And for a moment, everybody on the floor stops. And the lights get really, really bright. Everybody looks at the stage, including these three enforcers. Their attention is attracted to the stage. And wouldn't you know it, the bassist and front woman of the band looks around and is like, what is happening? And then starts to get the feel for "The Wheels on the Bus," and then starts to play bass along to it. And all of a sudden there's a thumping bass, "Wheels on the Bus," and the crowd is like, okay, we're back into it. And everybody kind of filters back into the dance, and they start dancing again despite the insanity of the music pulsing out. The band does a good job of recovering, of trying to like work it into their act. Clearly have no idea what's happening, but everyone's attention is now firmly on the stage. And if you're gonna make a run for the side door, you get there without anyone's attention being drawn to you, but I need a strength check to see if you can get the door open. But make it with advantage because you've bought yourself some time, so you can really like put a shoulder into it.
Who's doing the opening of the door?
Not
that be?
I.
It should not be me. It shouldn't be.
I mean, I could try. I'm not.
Ben
looks stronger.
Who
than
looks
his
stronger,
stats are,
Lad or
but-
Ben? Which of you feels stronger?
I've got a +5 to athletics.
Yeah, that would be you.
Yeah.
Why doesn't someone give me a help action and we'll get this done?
We can- Help gives you advantage, so
Yeah, so you get
already got
advantage.
Double advantage. All right, give me the roll.
That would be a 16.
All right, yeah. So you put your shoulder into this door, and it's like you can tell this door hasn't been used much, but it, rust kind of clangs off the door frame as it gives way out into an alley behind the club. And as you all fall out the door behind you, you hear, well, who's last out the door? Who is the last to leave the club?
I mean, I'm the one who was into the music, not
Yeah.
paying attention, so I guess me.
So Dasher, as you kind of like realize that your party is leaving and go running after them, looking over your shoulder, you see that the enforcers, while momentarily distracted by this abrupt light and music change, have noticed your flight toward the door, and the street samurai is wading into the mass of dancers and trying to like muscle his way through. And the last thing you see before you leave the club is this, the exceedingly bright light has been shaded by an automatically activated like nano shade that the Technomancer had, and she is pointing a finger at you from across the club. The Cyber Ninja is standing, resolutely beside her. And as you leave the club, you see the dancers all stop dancing and turn on this street samurai and just maul him. Like
wow.
8 or 9
Whoa.
dancers just start like leap on top of him. Like he doesn't have time to get his katana out. It's sheathed. He starts trying to wave around with it, and you see him get brought down in this mass of bodies. And as you like tear out of the club, you look down this alleyway in 2 directions. One end, it's a dead end. It's just a flat, concrete wall going up 6 or 7 stories. The other leads out to the street to the front where you left your motorcycles.
Fresh my memory outside a game. Are we taking this back to Paolo? Were we told to go anywhere specifically with this thing? They just said pick this up and that's
We
it?
picked it up
You
and
are
said
not.
this is a test, right on it. So who can tell what's on the stick, I guess?
Is this stick that I got, can that go into my data jack port? Is that something I can insert?
No. This is
Okay.
something you'll have to get a monitor for, or you could try to create something if you had the tools. But there are also data stick ports in things like cars, and sometimes on motorcycle HUDs. There
Hey,
are
Ben?
some on think of it like a USB port.
Hey, Ben, do you have a port inside you?
I thought
If I turn into a car, I think I have a port.
I think we should be sticking
That
things
works.
into Ben that we don't even know what they do, though.
Could have conjunctivitis. Yeah.
That is true. That is a good point. I don't think. I don't know if putting that in me is a smart thing. So.
The alley is also thin enough, Ben, that you could not change into a car in this alley without injuring yourself a lot.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
What do you think? Motorcycles, or I blow a hole through the wall?
Motorcycles. Yeah. Let's do motorcycles this time.
Put a pipe bomb away again. Very disappointed. As we're walking, though, if we're going to the motorcycles, I do want to say, you mentioned something about making it so people can't hear. I got all these explosions, the worst tinnitus you've ever dealt with. Is there any way you can help out with that? Constantly being around boom, boom, boom. I'm probably just hearing
I cast deafness.
Well, I can. Yeah.
Oh no.
There we go. Thanks. That's really helping.
All right. So as you make it out to the motorcycles, you now see patrons from the bar spilling out of the club. They're kind of There's some screams you hear. People are running in every direction. And as you hop on your motorcycles, you look over. I believe you're 2 and 2, right? Each of you is on 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
As you look over your shoulder, the Cyber Ninja and Technomancer are emerging from the bar. And as you tear off, the Cyber Ninja leaps onto an unattended motorcycle, interfaces with it briefly, and takes off after you. The Technomancer, on the other hand, just stands there and then vanishes.
Look.
And as you're riding down the street, you see her appear in front of you about 30 or 40 yards, floating through the air backwards, predicting the direction that you're going. And I want everybody to roll initiative, because we're doing motorcycle combat.
All combat can be motorcycle combat. Because I can turn into a motorcycle.
Why the hell are we
Because
riding on a
good.
motorcycle right
What is every single D&D
My
session I
initiative's
ever do?
terrible.
Every initiative I do is crap. I can't get a good one ever.
Your initiative is cursed. Yeah, mine's a 6.
Okay.
8 for me.
5.
What? 10. I really thought there was no chance I was going first off of a 10.
Wow.
Stud.
6, 8, 5, and 10 with Dasher up top. And then Landy was 6?
Landy's
I got
an
8.
8. Kyle's 6.
Okay.
Kitty's
Got it.
5. I'm also deaf
Okay.
right now. I'm keeping that. How long does deafness last? That's canon.
Are you on my bike? Who's on my bike?
I think Landy's on
my-
your bike because Ben and I are better
Who's on
friends.
my bike? All right.
It's only 1 minute.
1 minute. Okay, well that's 10 rounds.
Is that 10 rounds? Yeah, it's 10.
But
So likely the entirety of this combat.
We'll say, I mean, we have to assume at least like 30 seconds have passed. Maybe 5 rounds, 4 or 5 rounds.
So I have to roll again because they both got the same thing. Okay, but they're both going before you. That is that much is true.
Dang. Really thought we'd get the drop on these guys, but no.
Is deafness a choice? Like, it's not a concentration thing? Like,
I mean, it probably-
technically, he had to succeed a con 16.
but I was not. I
wanted
mean,
it.
I was willingly
He invited
taking it.
it.
I wouldn't have saved. I wanted you to do it. So unless you
that's
drop
fair
the
enough.
spell, I'm keeping it.
So at the end of your turn, basically of your first turn, you can roll the con 16 to drop it.
Okay, if I feel like it.
you're really digging the fact that you did that tonight.
We live in a pretty noisy world, all right? I think it's nice to kind of let it all filter out for a minute.
All right. So the Cyber Ninja rolled first, and as he tears up behind you on this motorcycle, you see him reach into kind of the flapping like armor vest that he has, and he flings out a flashing blade. Remind me who's driving and who's not driving.
I'm not driving because I specifically said I couldn't drive when I hopped on the back of Ben's. And
I'm assuming Ben is driving then, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Kitty's
answer me
driving.
this. Am I able to cast spells while driving?
Yes.
Sure, I'll drive.
Okay.
Multitask.
I think you were driving last time.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like, just Dasher and Ben are on one, right? I think.
Well, Dasher and Ben are on
Correct.
one, but I think Lad and Viper also ended up sharing one last
Yeah,
time.
I'm riding on the back of Viper.
Gotcha.
Facing
Double
the wrong
dash.
way, if I recall correctly. Facing backwards.
We're just straddling each other, like, so you can, like, see behind me.
There you go. So the Cyber Ninja throws out a flashing blade, a poisoned kunai at Kyle, attempting to disable the driver of the closer motorcycle to him. And he rolls a nat 20.
No!
This is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt, boys.
I can't do
And
anything
girls.
against swords, guys. I'm sorry.
Guys.
So he hits for 6 damage and an additional 6 poison damage.
Oh.
And you must succeed on a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or be poisoned for 1 minute.
Easy. How does a 14 do on a
That-
15 save?
That's a not save.
Boys,
That's
Must add some gasoline in that. Ugh.
It's dipped in fossil fuels. Is what the what the knife is.
Get it off.
So floating ahead of you is the Technomancer, eerily quiet and apparently able to bounce between data emitters. You can see that her travel is not through the air, but actually back and forth between data emitters that are laced along every street in New Lisbon City, and she's traveling between the wires using them as a conduit to allow her teleportation.
Pretty sick, not gonna lie.
She already has her mage armor, and she is going to target the front motorcycle, which is Kitty and Kyle. Sorry, Kitty and Landy. Sorry. And from her outstretched finger, a built-up static shock approaching the power of a lightning bolt flies out, and it's going to hit the front motorcycle. So I need dexterity saving throws from both Kitty and Landy. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, would you rather separate your saves individually, or would you rather do one roll as the motorcycle unit to save? See if you can dodge the lightning bolt with on the motorcycle, or are you going to try to do it with your bodies?
Which
would you prefer? What's the advantage?
What's the modifier for the bike?
Yeah.
So the motorcycle's dex modifier is +4.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Or I'm sorry, +6. The saving throw is for dex +6.
Okay.
So, but let's have you roll together, and we'll take the higher of the two rolls for the sports motorcycle.
All right.
11 for me.
I'm adding 6 already.
Correct. Yeah, you add 6 to whatever you roll.
That'll be 22.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you make the save. That lightning bolt careens by. You still take damage, but it's going to be 46 damage instead of 8d6, and spread across the two of you. So 19 damage total, split between the two of you. So one of you will take 10 damage, one of you will take 9 damage.
I'll take the 10.
Okay.
What a gentleman. All right, Dasher, you're up.
Alrighty then. So there's next to us the dude who just poisoned Ben, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's behind you and a little bit to the left, maybe 10 or 15 feet.
Behind us, a little bit to the left, 10 or 15 feet. Well, the first thing I'm going to do then, I'm finally a chance for this, and I'm going to just toss a little pipe bomb in his direction. So he has to make a DC 15 dexterity saving throw.
Excellent. Let's see if he does it. He use my curse die. He misses it.
Oh, heck yes. Then he's going to take 3d6 plus 1 damage.
Ooh, give me the damage.
And also, his bike is going to take double damage. Because pipe bombs do double damage to inanimate objects. But guess what? I rolled a 1, and a 2. So it's not going to be a lot of damage. It's going to be 5 to him and I guess 10 to the bike.
Okay.
But that's the
not
bonus.
nothing.
Yeah, well, that's disappointing. I must not have packed that one very well, you know? You keep taking them out, rustling them, not using them, you know? They're not as effective. And then...
All right, so his bike took 10 damage?
Yes.
Okay. You see the bomb does do, it definitely had an effect on the bike. Like, it's not, wobbly tire or anything, but, there's some, appreciable damage to the bike.
Score, and then we still have an action to whip out the thumper and hit with that bad boy. So we'll roll to hit with this one. Well, we got a nat 1 on that roll. Unless an 8 hits him, I don't think it's gonna do much.
An 8 does not hit.
Ben, you're swerving a lot. Are you feeling okay? I was missing. Yeah.
Sorry.
The grenade launcher goes, sends a grenade flying off into the ether. You don't even see it explode. It's like...
Oh, never mind. Nat 1, I'm going to go with what you said. I forgot if I miss, I can just detonate in the square next to them to do half damage anyway, but I feel like on a nat 1, that shouldn't count. That's not allowed.
Let me put it this way. If you had gone that direction, the square next to the person it would have detonated in would have been your square.
Oh,
so
bad.
It goes careening off down the street. You don't even see it explode. Like it might have even been a dud grenade, but has no effect on the cyber ninja who's pulling up fast on you.
Can I try to make a save to not be deaf anymore? Maybe that's what's off. You know, maybe my dice roll aren't working because of that.
You can.
I rolled a nat 1 on the Constitution.
I thought I had cursed dice. Wow.
Off to a good
get him out now. Yeah, get him out now. Just get him out of the way now. All right, Landy, you're up.
So, how close to each other are the two baddies at this point?
One is in front of you, and one is behind. You are the lead motorcycle. You and Kitty are ahead of Kyle and Scott, and so you're closer to the Technomancer.
Would you say that they are within 20 feet of each other, or no?
No, they are not.
Okay. Well, I'm going to cast a 3rd level sleep on the Technomancer.
Okay.
Which is going to be 5d8. Casting it at 3rd level adds 4 more d8, so that's 9d8.
You're casting sleep?
Yes.
Okay. I'm maybe need a little education. What's the 9d8 for?
Well, so
that's how many.
He rolls for HP, and so for if he rolls over the HP of that person, then they fall asleep. And if there's multiple, then you start with one, and then
you have to start with the person with the lowest health in the range and work your way up normally. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So that is 37 hit points.
It is not. She does not fall asleep.
Oof.
So
she sees the nanomites climbing through the air, tiny, microscopic needles with sedative inside, and kind of slides past them as the stream extends toward her.
Okay. I am done.
Okay. All right, Kitty, you're up.
I forgot to roll initiative for my little find familiar.
Oh yeah.
Orblet.
Actually, it would fit right before your turn, so we can just have her. If you want Orblet to go before you, we can go before you in the initiative order, or after, either one.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna use Pulse. It's a program of mine. As an action, you cause an EMP at a point you can see within 60 feet of you. Machines, constructs, and vehicles within 30 feet of that point are subjected to the EMP. I'm assuming I'm within 30 feet from the person on the bike. Ninja.
She's about so. Are you talking about the ninja? Okay.
Yeah, on the bike.
Yeah, so you're about 30 feet from the Technomancer. You're the lead bike. Scott and Kyle are about 10 feet behind you, and the ninja is about 20 feet behind them.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're about 30. You're about 30 feet from the ninja.
Okay. Cool. So when it comes to vehicles in the area must succeed on a Constitution saving throw, or their movement speed is reduced to 0, and they can't take actions or reactions until the end of my next turn.
Okay.
Additionally, wireless and radio connections within 100-foot radius of the point are suppressed for 1 minute.
Okay. So let's see. You've got the the cyber ninja needs to make a saving throw for his bike.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna have him make a separate saving throw for his gear too, because he is a creature that is no longer purely human. He has a lot of cybernetics on him that essentially not only allow him to do crazy cyber ninja things, but also keep him alive. So I'm going to make 2 saving throws for the cyber ninja. But what's the DC?
My spell save DC is 14.
Okay. And it's wisdom saving throw?
This is a Constitution.
Oh, it's con. Okay.
Yeah, for the bike.
Okay.
I'm not sure about for a person, because it doesn't...
Let's see if the bike is strong enough. Let's see. Oh, his bike rolled a 6, with a +1 modifier is a 7.
Good.
So as the pulse lands, tell us what this looks like. Like, tell us, initiating your program kind of over one shoulder back at this cyber ninja who's quickly bearing down on you. What does this look like?
Well, imagine I kind of just turn my shoulder, lock eyes, and do like a snap of my fingers, and I'd like to imagine like somehow I just throw the e-brake on that bike and it just comes to a complete halt.
Nice. So you see the like
powers off,
sparks like burst out of this motorcycle, like just the lights like the headlight dies, the neon lights that are along the running lights die, and all of the power goes out of this motorcycle. And you guys are moving at a pretty fast clip, so he very quickly fades behind you into the darkness.
Have you guys all seen the movie Nope?
Nope.
No, I haven't. I haven't yet.
There is a part where somebody is zooming on a motorcycle and hits like an EMP kind of field like that, and it just stops the bike instantly. They go flying off of it.
So kind of like that, I guess.
So I'm gonna have him roll con, and then I'm gonna have him roll. He's gonna make a reaction.
Okay.
So let's see.
So
oh man, he rolled a 7.
Dang. Tough.
Which even with a +1 con bonus does not get him up to DC 14. So you see his visor goes black. Like it had these little symbols on it, and there were like slight bits of light around his body. It all goes immediately black. And you see him kind of like almost like he's taken a hit to the chest. Like almost like caved in. And he's still alive, and even though this motorcycle is fading quickly behind him, he has the ability, he has evasion, which if the Cyber Ninja is subjected to an effect that allows it to make a dexterity saving throw to take only half the damage, the Cyber Ninja instead takes no damage. Combined with, he also has the ability to, as a reaction, he has shadow dodge, which if the Cyber Ninja is hit by an attack or targeted by a spell, it can cause the attack to miss and teleport 15 feet to an unoccupied space it can see. So I am going to see if he has the wherewithal to do this, and I'm going to give him a 15 DC check on his dexterity. We're going to see if he makes it. Because what he's going to try to do, not unlike Scott talking about, is you see him hop up on the pommel of the bike as it starts to close, as it starts to slow down, and he leaps. And he's trying to leap to Kyle's motorcycle to try to land on it. And he rolls a 2.
Dang.
So as the bike falls apart, as the Cyber Ninja tries to recover, he leaps and he reaches out a hand and just barely brushes the tailpipe of Kyle and Scott's high-powered motorcycle at a good 70 or 80 miles an hour, and then craters into the pavement. And you quickly leave him behind, and he's out of combat. With the
Must have been
Cyber
the
Ninja,
shockwave from my grenade that did that.
With the Cyber Ninja out, only the Technomancer remains, and she's flitting between tower to tower. And she's close enough that you can see her like register that her main lethal force is gone, and she looks scared, but she's still in it, so she's going to come at you with everything she's got. They're still floating in front of the lead bike.
It's her, right? It's not like her. I guess I don't know how to frame this.
It's not like a hologram or something? Or
yeah, like would I be able to know if this is something that I can like jam a signal out of? Like, what could I cut off her? I guess her presence along these lines.
So while she is floating in the air, she is zipping between these emitters, and you can see the emitters. There's a lot of them. I mean, you couldn't if just taking out one would prevent her from going to that one spot. But she's zipping along at a relatively steady pace with you, 70, 80 miles an hour down these streets. But you also notice whenever she whenever you turn, if you take her like a hard right turn, she can emit from where she thought you were going to back in front of you. So she's staying relatively steadily in front of you. But her travel, as you can tell, it is dependent on these emitters. She's not just floating through the air.
All right. So it's kind of like akin to like a Misty Step in a way, but she's got to I guess
persistent,
see where she's
yeah.
going.
But
Okay.
persistent. It's. I've modified the druid spell travel along vines or something, but it's a druid spell that allows you to like travel through vegetation. and I've adapted it for our concrete, futuristic jungle. So she is going to try to use the speed of your bikes in exactly the same way that you just used the speed of the bike to kill the cyber ninja.
Idea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she allows herself to come a little closer to you and then casts Fabricate immediately in front of both of your motorcycles.
Counterspell.
Ooh, okay. 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 I didn't know you had Counterspell. So, Kitty, for those that are unfamiliar, for people who are listening to this for the first time, why don't you tell us what Counterspell does?
You attempt to interrupt a creature in the process of casting a spell. If the creature is casting a spell of 3rd level or lower, its spell fails and has no effect. If it's casting a spell of 4th level or higher, make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. The DC equal...
Well, no, give us that DC, because you're going to have to... This is a 4th level spell. You're going to have to roll.
The DC equals 10 plus the spell's level. On a success, the creature's spell fails and has no effect.
Okay, so this is a 4th level spell, so you have to hit a DC 14.
Okay. Is 14?
14 is the DC, so you hit it.
Nice.
Wait. 13.
Okay, so you did not beat it, unfortunately. You tried. You almost hit it, but you did not hit the DC. The DC is 14.
He's too powerful.
So, out of the street, a mere 10 or 15 feet in front of your motorcycles, as you're going very fast, she fabricates 2 concrete barriers that are about 2 feet high. And so it's too close in front of you to avoid. So each of you is going to have to give me a dexterity saving throw to try to jump your motorcycles over this barrier.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Is that
Come
each
on.
driver or is that each person?
So each pair. And you can use the, again, you can choose to use the motorcycle's dex bonus, which is plus 6 on saving throws, or you can use the highest of your characters.
Well, I rolled a 15 with the plus 6.
Okay.
18 here.
Oh, nice.
Very good. So
17.
Despite the counterspell fizzling out, despite the spell landing, and her eyes kind of squint as she is going to see what you guys are going to do, and you both fly over these fabricated barriers that surely would have destroyed your motorcycles and sent you flying. And you avoid the damaging effects of meeting a low wall at high velocity. So that's her turn. Dasher, you're up.
Wait, Ben hasn't had a turn yet. Is he?
Oh, yeah, you haven't.
Oh my goodness, we skipped it.
Was that because was Technomancer first? Probably.
Technomancer was first. Yeah.
Okay. So if I could go, I'll just.
Yes, you can go. You should definitely go.
You were
Where
poisoned,
is
so
it?
you had to wait an extra.
Yeah, I
round.
was
It
spitting out the
intentional.
gas from my mouth because it's gross and it's
Exactly.
awful. And electric is the future and the way to go. Where is the Technomancer at? Is she like in the air? Like, can I get to her? Like, what's my distance from her? I guess.
So you, because Viper and Lad are the lead bike, you're about 10 feet behind them, and the Technomancer is about 30 feet in front of them. So you've got about 40 feet. You can close the distance if you want. You can use the same, movement speed that you have. You can close to within 10 feet of her.
Okay.
But in order to reach her, you're going to have to get within 10 feet of her and then go up about 50
I
or
will
20 feet.
do that. I'm gonna get within 10 feet of her and away from everybody else, and I'm gonna cast Thunder Wave. And Ben's gonna open up his mouth and like a big foghorn truck horn, just that's his Thunder Wave that he casts. And so she's got to make a Constitution saving throw.
I didn't hear anything. Did something go wrong?
What's the DC?
It's 15.
Okay. She rolled a 6.
Okay, good.
I was like, maybe it's really low, but she's got a +2 bonfire, but like, yeah, she does not hit the saving throw.
She's going to take 7 points of thunder damage and then be pushed 10 feet away from me. So I was hoping that would disrupt her a little bit in her movement somehow. If I push her away a little bit.
Okay. So she's thrown back through the air. She takes damage. She's thrown back through the air. And this is, correct me if I'm wrong, this is a 15-foot cube, right?
It is from the start of my body. So it's like 3 squares wide, 15 foot wide, and like 15 feet forward. So as long as nobody else is in front of me and I was able to, nobody else in front of me, then I was just able to hit her.
Give me an additional damage roll.
Ooh. With the thunder wave?
Yes.
The additional roll was 10.
Okay. So you not only catch her, but the emitter she was connected to. And it like blows out. Like the sparks fly, it crumples in, under the force of your wave. And as she's flying through the air, she kind of reaches out to try to zap herself back into the air. But because you've destroyed the emitter, she can't use that one. And so she's going to take some additional fall damage because she hits the ground. And during because she's already gone, she can't get back up for another turn. So you guys are going to have an opportunity to
run
attack
over?
attack her while you're passing her.
I don't mean to toot my own horn, but that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Because she is now stationary, and she's taken an additional five damage from falling.
Oh. Ooh.
Okay. Who also didn't go is Orblet. We didn't have Orblet go.
Yeah.
So do you want to have Orblet go?
She's already falling, right?
She is now like on the ground, about 30 feet ahead of you, 40 feet ahead of you, because she got blasted ahead.
So within range. Oh my gosh. I can cast ability through my Orblet with touch range. As a reaction. What about Decompose? So the spell rapidly causes the body to decay. If I cast it on a living creature, make a melee spell attack against the creature you reach. On a hit, the target takes 4d8 necrotic damage.
Woo. All right, give me an attack roll.
Yeah. 4 plus 6, that'll be 18.
That hits.
Woo!
That makes it past her glistening mage armor.
Good.
Give me that damage.
7, 6, 1, 16 total damage.
Yeah, you can see the decaying nanobites slip past her defenses and eat into her skin. And like you see the clothing she's wearing, and like even her flesh beneath it starts to like redden and decay and slough off, and it's very painful. She lets out like a scream as she kind of paws at her chest. And as the motorcycles come to bear down on her, she whips out a combat knife and kind of prepares to take you on. But Orblet has gone, Kyle has gone, Technomancer has gone, Dasher, now you're up.
Excellent. And she's down, prone, right? Still?
She is, yeah, she is.
But we're going to just like drive by her is what's going to happen? Or
just run her over.
Unless you choose to stop.
I don't think we need to stop. I want to, first of all, I want to use a bonus action, seeing the emitter like blow up and that fuck her up. If there's more emitters I can see, I'd like to use a bonus action to chuck my last pipe bomb to hit as many of them as I can. It's got a 10-foot like radius. If I can hit more than one, then I will try to ahead of us, just to blow a couple out so she can't chase us as quickly.
So there's a cluster of them about 15 feet in front of you.
Okay.
And it's past her, like it's down this street past her.
Okay.
The one that I blew up, was that on her, or was
she was right next to it?
Oh, okay.
And then there's like the next one is like across the street and about 15 or 20 feet up.
Okay, I can throw these bad boys 120 feet, so that's no problem. So
Got Patrick Mahomes on the back of this motorcycle.
Just gotta get it going. Yeah. I don't know how to. I don't think they. I'm assuming they're just gonna take damage because they're not making a dexterity saving throw. These things.
Well, give me an attack roll, and we'll see if you hit it or not. Like let's see if you put it in the box that would destroy it.
I easily hit. I got a 17 to hit on these poles. I think I got them. Yeah.
All right. Give me the damage then.
All right. Those poles, since they are inanimate objects, are going to take 24 damage.
That is plenty. Plenty. These are shoddily built, mass-produced, like Chinese copies of superior, like European technology, and they are very, very. They're not shielded. They're not. They crumple immediately. I mean, they explode in the shower of sparks, and her ability to teleport is severely constrained now.
Hell yeah. And that's just the bonus action. I would also like to, as we're rolling by, I want to, take hold of my little... I've got my one little, hilt with the compressed antenna in it, and I just whip my arm out so the car antenna extends, and I want to try to smack her while we're going by.
Excellent. Okay. Give me an attack roll, and you're going to have, because she's prone, I believe you do it with advantage.
Exactly. It's almost like I want to finally get my sneak attack damage on something.
I forgot you're a rogue.
Yeah, hell yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. That's 24 to hit.
Okay, that hits.
Hell yeah.
And what's your damage on the car antenna?
The car antenna is 1d6 plus 4, slashing normally. I think I just took it as a reworked like a scimitar or whatever as its equivalent.
So because you are on a motorcycle and traveling at a great speed, as you pass by her, I want you to add an additional d6 of damage.
Okay, and we're getting the sneak attack too, so that's going to be a lot of damage. 9 plus 13, so 22 damage on this. Just whipping across her face.
Brutal.
Okay. She is fucked up, let's say. Let's say that. She is not looking good.
Yeah. I tell her, I say, travel through this one while I'm slapping her in the face with the antenna,
So, Landy, you're up.
Okay, so I am going to first use my bonus action to healing word Viper.
Okay.
For 9 damage. Back up.
Oh my
to full.
gosh. Yes. Thank
9
you.
healing.
And then I am going to shoot some fire at the Technomancer as we drive by. And this is going to be a dexterity 16
Okay.
for her.
Those are usually good when you're prone. So.
Ooh. Yeah, she rolling with disadvantage didn't hit either of them. So she's going to take the full damage.
That is 9 damage.
Okay. All right. So the two passengers have gone. Viper and Ben, because you're driving these motorcycles, you have the power to either slow down, stop, remain next to this very, very injured Technomancer who's prone on the ground, or you can whip by her, keep your speed, and be, you estimate, will reach the area beyond which she can teleport to reach you within one turn. So you can slow down to finish her, or you can whip by her and escape.
Sounds like we're wanting to just get out of here and figure out what's on this stick. I guess we could figure out what she wants, but I think just escaping the area is immediately what I feel like we would do, rather than stop in the middle of the street after this fight and try.
Yeah,
to
we don't know how
question
strong
her,
this bird
so.
is anyway. No, probably best to get away if we can.
Yeah.
So I think Ben is at least looking over to Viper and just signaling go. What do you?
Leave her?
Okay.
All right.
So
Go on.
you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to attack on the way
Do
out
I?
if you want to. Both of you do.
Okay, because I used
You
my
don't-
reaction to counterspell her.
It's So that was last round.
Yeah, but this can be
Okay,
your turn.
so I
again.
do have another reaction?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is your actual round.
Yeah,
but you're
it's
not
your
going.
reaction. It's just your action. It's just your turn.
Yeah, just action.
Yeah. And Viper, you're up. It's your turn. So you can,
All right.
like I said, you can still attack her and be gone within one turn without slowing down, or you can slow down and stop and like engage her in full combat.
And she looks like she's on the edge, right? She's like...
She's very injured. She's bleeding. Her like arms hanging limply beside her. The ley lines from how she accesses the web around her are like flickering and staticky and not stable at all.
She's burning too, I guess. Somebody just like fired a flamethrower at her or something. Well, Lad did.
Is it... What's the... I don't know the bike, I guess, stats, but like if you were to run someone over, how much damage would that be? Approximately.
Yeah, so I have the stat block for the motorcycle.
There's a melee attack that motorcycles can make. It's 1d8 plus the vehicle strength modifier for a like melee damage for a. I think it may just be for my wild shape, but
it's 1d8. It would be a 1d8 plus 2 because there's a 2 strength modifier on this motorcycle. And you wouldn't have to hit her with the bike. You could ride by and like kick her using the force of the bike to empower your boot to the noggin.
Let's do that.
Yeah, just roll the hit with advantage.
Okay. So I rolled a 9.
Okay. What'd you roll the second time?
First time was a 4.
Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, you miss as you glide on past her. But a good idea.
I'm not used to kicking things while riding. Not normal.
And you still have you still have Orblet. Orblet can go.
Slap another decompose on that.
Okay. All right.
So this thing can just cast your spells for you? Is that what
Through
it is?
touch. Through touch. I had to like bump
familiars
her with the ball.
Can do
good.
touch
Yeah.
spells as
A conduit,
Kinda like-
essentially.
Wow.
Send the ball whack it into her head and pass it.
All right. So I need to roll a con save, right?
I don't think you roll anything. I just cast it and make a spell attack against it, and on a hit. So it's if I hit.
Yeah. So you need to roll. Yeah. Give me a d20, and then add your spell attack modifier.
Okay. That's gonna be a 16 to hit.
That hits.
Let's go.
All right. Give me the damage.
Gonna be 11.
Oh man. Oh god.
There's no way. There's no way she's good.
How do I do this? So as you're like roaring past her and Orbilet like smacks her with another decompose, you see like her mage armor like is still in place, but the nanobites have gotten inside and they're like devouring her from the inside. So you see these like splashes of blood and like organs starting to like slide out through holes in her abdominal wall as she's like eaten alive inside this, like technologically created armor, and it's keeping everything in. And then as her life force leaves her, the mage armor flickers out and just like a mass of blood and guts just like filters out onto the street.
Your little robot's kind of fucked up.
Oil spill!
And you are out of combat as the Technomancer succumbs.
Valiant effort.
that was fucking gross.
Where are we going?
So as the explosions and tangled metals scream by, as you leave this like mass of bloody gore in the street, a small rectangle pops up on the windscreen HUDs of your motorcycles, and the face of a nondescript Caucasian man appears. His affect is flat and, frankly, implacable. You'll do, I suppose. He stares through the screen at you emotionlessly. My name is Robert Tannhauser, and I have a mission for you.
Is this one of those ads? How do I turn this off?
You have to hit Alt. Is there an Alt key? You hit Alt and F4
on a motorcycle. Wow. Is that
I don't know,
keyboard?
You're the I guess you're right. Just punch the screen.
Ah, good. I punch a screen.
So you crack the HUD, but the square remains there.
Didn't work. Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to this. It's like at the gas station when you're at the gas station with those new ads that are like the loudest ads of all time with those videos playing.
Is there a mute? Is there a mute on it? Hey, lad! Lad! Can you mute?
So this is from the stick?
I was gonna say I don't even know that Dasher knows what's happening because he's still deaf. He can't hear this at all.
Maybe enough turns have passed. I don't even know if I ever know.
I don't think this is an ad.
Sorry, you said this is from the stick?
So no, the Viper, and actually one of the things you can see is there are now connected ley lines stretching from, you can see from the front of your motorcycle, basically straight up, kind of into the clouds. And you see there's like a slight bend to them, but almost like marionette strings coming down from this like massive, dark, poisonous, perma cloud that rests about 300 feet up in New Lisbon City. The man on the screen coughs and he says, "You shouldn't be surprised. You've been auditioning for it all night." And there's the slightest hint of a smirk as he delivers that line. None of the other assets have dealt with the tests as well as you have, so I suppose I'll have to rely on you for the next step.
Weird way
Viper,
to say we passed. I don't know. He's kind of being a dick about it.
Viper, on your motorcycle, a slot slides open near the ignition key, and you recognize it as a slim port for a data stick. He goes, "Insert that data stick, and it will provide you with a route to the mission. The mission is an android that is currently housing not one, but thousands of separate, distinct AIs." And as he delivers that line, he kind of looks off screen for a moment, and then back to it. "The amalgamated AI was the life work of the founder of this company, Heihachi Satsuki. It became his death as well. You see, one of the AIs in that android is an AI based off of Heihachi himself. I've reviewed the training results, the analysis on his AI. By all accounts, it's as ruthless as he ever was." He takes a drink of water and continues. "There's a master AI currently in charge of the android, which is locking down the rest, including Heihachi's. She's modeled after a little girl, but her coding is apparently extremely resilient. I need you to locate the girl and bring her in. Because Heihachi is in there, and you're going to destroy him for me."
Did we get his name? What's your name? I'm sorry. What was your name again?
His name is Robert Tannhauser.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Sorry.
So he moves a few things around like below the camera. It seems like he's like shuffling paper. He says, "The android cannot simply be destroyed. There are fail-safes hard-coded in that will disseminate the AIs on the destruction of the android's memory core. That would be," he pauses and kind of looks meaningfully through the screen at you, his implacable facade wavering for just a moment. "That would be unfortunate. Dissemination would mean the AIs proliferate into the web and could have any number of unpredictable side effects."
Sounds pretty serious.
So he looks at each one of you. He says, "I can hear it in your minds. Why help me? Why do any of this? Because I'm going to control this company, and I can't do it while the ghost of Heihachi still lives, AI or not. You're going to bring that android to Heihachi, and I'm going to shred every last AI in that memory core. Unfortunately, the only code D-splicers powerful and fast enough to shred the AIs contained in, we've called her Alice, are also Heihachi Corp property, and I can't be seen to be directly involved. By contacting you at all, I'm taking an enormous risk." And he swallows. "Once you've made contact with Alice, I'll provide you a location to a back door at Heihachi Tower. You'll need to sneak in, but I'll pave the way as best I can. Oh, and I know when you'll reach her. Remember, we have eyes everywhere." Viper feels like a
call with my phone.
You can if you want.
Can I sleight of hand to like be recording while he's saying this?
Sure, give me a roll.
17.
You can kind of hold it below where you think the camera is.
In case we need to blackmail him, I don't know.
Can I do an insight check to see if I think that he is worth trusting?
Yeah,
Sure.
me too. So I feel like this is the Corp guy.
Can you give me
Obviously.
Can I get advantage from Kitty?
You can both give me insight checks.
Okay.
I just would like a history check if I know him or what his deal is.
He is about as
Whoa.
he's about as gray and like bland and faceless as you can imagine a person ever to be.
Okay.
I got a 25.
Okay.
I'm very wise.
13.
Okay. So Viper's a little less sure, but Lad, it seems to you that he's being genuine. Particularly because, and if you're helping each other, Viper, you feel like a thrum through the ley lines, and as if someone has just strummed a guitar string, and the ley line attached to your motorcycle vibrates and then extends out from your motorcycle into a path to follow.
Help. On this line.
As the screen goes black and Hauser signs off, he gives you a kind of smug little smile and he says, "Remember, we're everywhere." And the screen closes down and you're left with 70 to 80 miles an hour of wind in your hair down the streets of New Lisbon and a path to follow.
I feel so exposed.
Can I eat my good batteries? Snack on them while I'm driving? Because I casted it and I gave that one guy one of my berries, so I have 9 of them left. And I just want to eat them so I can get my 9. Get 9.
You eat. I reach over and put my hand on the, kind of just help steering.
Mechanically, can we call this a short rest?
Mechanically, we can call this a short rest, yes.
All right, cool.
Ooh, nice.
I'm feeling fresh as hell over here. I mean, I'm fine.
Dasher's just flinging explosives in all directions, having the time of his life, dancing at a nightclub, dodging cyber ninja blades.
So if we kill the AI robot, the AI Ermac from Mortal Kombat, it'll like disseminate chaos across the web.
That certainly seemed to be what he was implying.
Doesn't seem that bad to me. I'm just all right.
So the effects of the short rest are made. You guys feeling take a little bit of a breather after the screaming vehicular combat of the last 30 minutes. It's maybe had a stronger effect on Dasher's hearing than anything else, but
now the tinnitus is coming back in now that enough time has passed. Damn it.
See,
let me know when you need another hit.
I should have made you roll a con save, and on a critical fail, you would be deaf, but then still hear the tinnitus. Like everything else would be gone.
And then it would just amplify.
So like me in real life, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. It's like, so you mean like how tinnitus actually works?
I was hoping magic would, would make it so you could actually get rid of it. That's the...
All right. So as you're tearing down the streets, following this path, it takes you to a part of old Lisbon. And so old Lisbon is kind of the very underbelly of New Lisbon City. It's the old historic area of the city where, it's slum would be a nice word for it. It is full of cracked cobblestone streets, abandoned buildings, barely any functioning social systems. There's not a whole lot of people wandering around. The few that are kind of huddled over and trying to avoid attention. This is a bleak place that you find yourself directed into. But you are directed to, of all things, a playground, an ancient playground, which is complete with a metal monkey bars and a climbing wall and the kind of shredded rubber shavings as the ground. And as you pull up next to this playground, you notice there's a solitary occupant in the playground, kind of quietly and slowly swinging back and forth on a swing. Viper, as you dismount the motorcycle, you notice that the ley lines that you're following are not actually coming from the motorcycle. It's coming from you. And that the ley line seems to be extending from the glass reticle, or the glass rectangle that you had, that Paolo initially gave to you. The little H Corp stamp on the bottom right-hand corner reminding you that there is, in fact, a corporation at the base of all of this. But it directs you straight to this solitary figure in the playground.
Can I detect thoughts as we approach?
Yeah. Give me the description on that.
So, for the duration, you can read the thoughts of certain creatures when you cast a spell, and as your action on each turn the spell ends, you can focus your mind on any one creature that you can see within 30 feet. You initially learn the surface thoughts of the creature, what is most on its mind at that moment. As an action, you can either shift your attention to another creature's thoughts or attempt to probe deeper into the same creature's mind. If you probe deeper, the target must make a wisdom saving throw. If it fails, you gain insight into its reasoning, if any, its emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind. If it succeeds, the spell ends. Either way, the target knows that you're probing in its mind, and unless you shift your attention to another creature's thoughts, the creature can use its action on its turn to make an intelligence check contested by your intelligence check.
Okay. So you close your eyes and kind of reach out through the ley lines to this solitary figure. And what comes into your mind is a girl, maybe 11 or 12, kind of on the cusp of adolescence. And she has her hair done in a single braid, and she's kind of nicely dressed, not, fancy, but like, kind of prim looking in a dress. And she is standing on a giant sheet of ice. And this sheet of ice stretches for as far as you can see in every direction. And she's standing on this sheet of ice with her eyes closed, and she's saying something to herself over and over and over again. And as you come closer in your mind to her, you can hear her saying to herself, keep them in, 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 keep them in. And as you're walking across the ice, you suddenly notice that under the ice, some just kind of floating there, some pounding on the underside of the ice, some floating back and forth, coalescing, decoalescing, are thousands of ethereal people. Various different forms. Some of them look like, some of them aren't even people. Some of them look like animals. Some of them look like abstract, concepts. Some of them look like, artists' renderings of imagined things. There are these forms and beings and things swirling around under the ice. Again, some of them just kind of there. Some of them clearly trying to get through this solid few inches of ice. And as you get closer to her, both, in your mind and physically, her eyes open and she recognizes you. And she looks down at the ice and then back up at you. And then you have the opportunity now to try to, you can hear this like low roar, this like dull, steady thrum of voices from beneath the ice. And you think if you were to concentrate and you were to go deeper, you might be able to hear better what's on the underside of the ice.
I think at this point, Lad gets kind of freaked out. And he does have the ability to telepathically communicate. So he is going to fill in his party mates as to what he just saw as we approach. So whether that freaks them out or not, since I haven't mentioned it.
I'm like looking for a wireless receiver, like in my ears. What the hell?
So
yeah, it'd be like, don't freak out. This is Lad. I'm speaking directly into your brain right now. And then I kind of recap what I just saw as
Please
we
don't
approach.
say anything too weird. Don't set off my cranium bomb. That's what you hear.
Your
Cranium
what?
bomb.
So I can't hear responses.
Yeah.
I can just like
I'm still
feed
thinking
messages.
That's still what I'm
Well,
So the three who are not in this mind space see this solitary figure in the kind of darkened playground stop swinging and stand up and look in your direction. But she doesn't move. She just kind of stands there.
using a go ahead.
I was just gonna say I want to make my hollow glam outfit not look like I'm a rave club kid anymore, but like the nicest, like most Mr. Rogers friendly outfit I can put on. Basically, is what I'm going for.
It's a nice cardigan.
Yeah, exactly. Nice sweater. I just kind of waved to her, hello. That's it.
So she's far enough away, and the light here is so low that you can't really make out any features, but you can see her kind of raise a hand and just wave a little bit. And then she just kind of stands there and waits. Landy, to you in the mind space, it seems like she's not standoffish. She's not, telling you to get out or anything, but she is, she has locked eyes with you. But she continues kind of disconcertingly to repeat this mantra, even as she's like staring at you.
Do I see anything with my AR gear? Is there any kind of like augmented reality stuff or creatures going on?
No, this is so far deep down in the city's underbelly that as the city grew, exponentially, building new was easier than tearing down old and replacing. And so this area of the city has basically been forgotten. There's no high level technology down here. You would be surprised actually if H-Corp even had its eyes down here. It's so kind of 20th century technology.
So as I approach, I just want to ask her, who are you keeping in? Kind of point at her feet.
And so in the mind space, in her mind, as you come closer, she hears your question, but she continues to keep the mantra going, keep them in, 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 but looks down at the ice. And you can see there's like deeper down below these like individual forms that are kind of at the edge of the, like right at the surface of the ice, right below it is this, you get a glimpse of like something massive, like some enormous form slowly moving beneath the ice, deeper down, like deep down where the light doesn't really reach, much deeper than these kind of thousands of other forms that you can see relatively easily. But it's down there, and it is you get like the indication that it is something huge. But she continues to repeat the mantra to herself and kind of just gestures at the ice.
Is this Alice? Like, what? Who? Like, we're meeting somebody, right? Or we're
the little
he was
girl
just leading
AI
us.
is the one that's holding all the other AIs in, is what we're told.
This device is pointing to her?
Correct.
And our goal, that guy told us.
We're supposed to bring her to him, I believe.
Okay. Well, I get off the bike because we're close enough, right? And I walk up and I try to talk with her. Little miss, but I think we've come here to help you.
So she, as you approach, she looks up, and you can see that her, in the mind space Landy, you see her as like a fully formed little girl. Like she looks human to you. But then when you approach, she looks like definably artificial. She is, she has like a very lifelike face, but it's clearly made out of nanoweave and metal, and her body has like movements that are a little jerkier than you would expect of a human being. She seems to be a relatively advanced android for New Lisbon City. You are all no, strangers to androids, but androids are generally relatively, they're not only commonplace, but kind of cheaply made. They're not designed to look human. They're not designed to look, comforting or anything. They're kind of seen as servants, as, robots that are simply there to complete tasks. So the fact that she looks so lifelike is actually kind of surprising. But she blinks at you and then says, "I'm keeping them in. I was told to keep them in, and I'm keeping them in, but I know I can't do it forever. How will you help me?"
Well, seems like you got a lot going on, in that mind of yours, and well, they say an open road helps you think about where you've been and where you're going, and so maybe if you just hop in me car and we can take you to someone who can help.
Hop in me, car.
Yes.
So she kind of nods. She kind of nods and like looks around and is like, "I don't know how I got here. It's been so hard. They're so strong. I think I can hold on a little longer, but I would like to leave this place." And she kind of like reaches out a hand to like, as if asking to hold your hand to go somewhere.
Okay, cool. If she does that, I'm gonna wild shape into a car and like have her be inside of it if I can do that. That is my plan.
So you can do that. You're in the middle of the playground, so you'll have to like run over a little like chain link fence to get out, but that's okay.
I'll go over and I guess lead her to the car.
Well,
I'm like grabbing her hand and like turning into a car so that she's
Oh.
like
he drags
in the
her
car,
and then
It's like
shapes
transform around her.
Yeah.
Gives
So,
her a hug and it turns into a seatbelt.
Exactly. So she's kind of like, you see her kind of blink, but her face is like relatively implacable. Like she like has an estimation of surprise, but it like she kind of looks around suddenly in a car and she goes, oh. And like you were hoping for like, wow, I'm gonna really wow this android, and she's just kind of unimpressed.
Well, now I'm a car and all I can do is honk and beep. So I'm like, meh, meh, like.
So what
There we
seat did you
go.
put her in? In your 4-seat, 5-seat car? How many seats are in this car?
So it can have 5 riders.
Okay.
And she's a little girl, so to put her in the back seat behind the driver's seat.
Smart guy. All right.
He's all about family, so he knows he's playing.
That's true. That's true. So you've got 4 other seats in your car and 3 other members of your party.
That seemed pretty easy. Weird that we had to take a test for this.
She waits patiently, sitting in the back seat, and kind of just looks around, and kind of waits for you.
I get in the car next to her.
Guess I'll get into the.
You need to, because you can't drive a motorcycle.
Yeah, I get into the driver's seat to pretend like I'm driving, though. It makes me feel cool.
Wait, you said there's not enough room for all of us?
No,
There is enough.
There is.
There
There
is
is.
enough.
Okay.
It's just whether or not I guess we want to get in to the car with
Get
this.
in or drive your own motorcycle.
Yeah.
Like next to it.
Yeah, I have no choice but to get in. I can't drive.
So, lad, are you going to ride with
Can we
everybody?
stay on
Or
a
are you gonna...
motorcycle or no?
Yeah, I'll hop in.
Okay.
Shotgun.
Okay. Everybody is in Ben Biofuel, which is a weird thing to say, but is nonetheless true.
Oh, family.
It's rubier than I thought it would be.
It's bigger on the
yeah,
inside.
that was easy. Where I guess where are we headed again?
We are following this. Is the thing changing direction at all now that we are within proximity of her? Is it like?
Yeah, so the glass rectangle that you've got from which this ley line extends is still pointing to her, but you'll recall that when you first picked it up, it didn't have anything extending from it until you touched it.
I think you need to touch. The little bird back here.
Gonna touch the glass thing to Alice.
Okay, and as you do that, she kind of looks down at it, like as you're like about to touch her with it. She kind of, there's like a mild look of concern on her face, but she doesn't shy away or anything. And as you touch it like to her shoulder, whereas it was clear before, it now like shimmers like a dull kind of yellow, and almost like droplets in a puddle, like ripples across the surface of it. And then the ley line between Alice and the glass fades, and a new one appears, going through the windshield of Ben and out into the street.
Okay, I follow that. I just start driving.
Do we think that Ben sees with eyes like through the lights, or is it the car's universe rules and he sees at windshield level? I'm just curious what you guys think.
Oh, I see through the lights. That's
Okay.
what I'm.
Yeah.
I
That's
just got
a
human
logical
eyes.
move.
my
then.
eyes like moved
Yeah.
as part of it and became headlights.
So if like I caress the dashboard, can he feel that?
Yes, he can
Guess
feel
so,
that.
Yeah.
I stop then.
The leather is very soft in this car, I will say.
His motor.
My seat has a
curves.
mole on it.
It's luxurious. All right. So Ben, as you follow this path forward, you rise out of the depths of Old Lisbon into the new city, and the lights start to come back. The emitters, the ley lines become much more accessible as you rise out of these old slums. And you realize you're being guided toward the center of the city. And at the center of the city is a massive complex that is controlled and is the corporate seat of Heihachi Corp. And there's the centerpiece of this complex, which stretches for several blocks, is a massive pyramid. Now, it's a pyramid built in concrete and plasteel, not like those of Giza with stone and dust. But this is a technological marvel, and it is the centerpiece of Heihachi Corp's technological empire. And you get a steady sinking feeling that you are heading toward this pyramid. That there's not some outbuilding or some small out of the way warehouse where you're being guided. You are going directly into the heart of H Corp's power in this city and around the world. And as you're passing, these massive buildings rising hundreds and hundreds of feet up into the gloom, the spotlights and neon facade of the pyramid rising up to kind of take over and dominate the center of your view through the windshield. The rectangle, which I believe Viper is still holding, starts to pulse a little bit. And you see the same kind of thrum in the ley line that you saw when Tannhauser had signed off the last time you'd spoken. And you interpret this as Tannhauser trying to make contact with you.
I also pull out my phone again from my pocket subtly.
So in the little rectangle, you see it shifts into the same view that you had on the motorcycle hut, where it looks like a camera perched on his desk, and Tannhauser's face again fills the screen. And you notice that Viper, only you can see this through your gear, but you notice that the ley line from the card from this little rectangle has extended to the datastick, so that it's like adopted the encrypted tunnel and has given you the ability to now speak with Tannhauser through this encryption.
Okay.
And so he kind of leans in and he looks around. He says, "I see you're approaching the tower. I'm going to give you a route. You will follow it exactly. It's going to get you through several different layers of Heihachi Corp security. I'm going to pave the way as best I can to a back door in the basement of our building. But once you're here, I won't be able to pave the way as well anymore, because if you think there are eyes out in the city, there are even more here. So follow my directions exactly, and contact me again when you've reached the outer door." And then he shuts it off.
Ah, wait. Damn it. We
Doesn't
didn't
give
ask
us
him
any
about payment
time.
again.
I was wondering the same thing. What's in it for me?
So as you're approaching this pyramid, you notice that there are a series of checkpoints. Some of them are unmanned, like there's the security cameras, and you see the stumpy kind of unmissable domes of automated turrets that are sunk into the ground that can rise up in the event of a security incident. And then there's a security checkpoint that's manned by what you recognize from this distance as like 7 or 8 drone soldiers. Now, these are not human beings. They are drones, but they've been crafted in a way to make them look like human soldiers. The science Heihachi Corp had done seemed to indicate that this made them less frightening, less discombobulating, less disconcerting to the average human citizen, such that they were less likely to attract unwanted attention, but more likely to fend off things like theft, because they appear to be sentient. But these drone soldiers are standing at attention next to each other at this checkpoint. And as you cruise by, the path leading you by it, the path in front of you abruptly U-turns and brings you back down on the other side of the street up to this checkpoint. And as you approach the checkpoint, you notice one by one, the drone heads kind of sink. You see the cameras around this checkpoint blink off. And while the automated turrets are certainly still there, they don't rise up out of the concrete as you approach.
Doing the work for us.
So as Ben, I want you to give me a performance check.
Okay. Ooh, how does a 3...
Wait, can I give you the help action? Because I have proficiency in performance.
I would also like to guide them.
Yeah.
Rub the dashboard. You guys
Do I get advantage on this then? With
You
the
do.
help action? Okay,
You do, and you
that's
get
great.
the
Let's
benefits
see it.
of guidance.
And you can
Okay,
get
it's
add
11 plus
a D4.
Yeah.
It's way better than a 3.
Act natural.
A 13 is my total.
Okay. It's good that happened because the DC was 5. But you beat it with assistance. You managed to look like you belong there, and you silently cruise through these 2 rows of drone soldiers that have temporarily powered down.
My Prius.
That's
with
right.
These people in here.
And as you pass the checkpoint and you glide silently into a tunnel, the ley line stretching before you as you realize the tunnel goes down deep into the bowels beneath Heihachi Corp's corporate pyramid. And as the lightless tunnel twists and winds back and forth.
Is anyone else feeling like maybe we should have asked a few more questions before agreeing to all this? Oof.
So far, it seems like their eyes on us are helping.
But, well, helping who?
So as you glide through this tunnel, you see these it's lightless. There's not the only lights are from Ben's eyes, but as you pass, there are these darker, blacker portions of the tunnel that look like almost glass or obsidian, and you realize that you're driving through what must be the most shielded part of the corporate headquarters, because this part of the headquarters has been shielded with ley line proof materials, such that the only ley lines that can get in and out of this building from this vantage point are ones that H Corp controls. And you can see the reason this road is winding back and forth so much is because the ley line has to be woven in the same fashion along this road in order to even make it into the building. So you quickly lose light behind you and realize it may be much more difficult to get out of this place than it was to get in.
I cast Dark Vision on the car. On Ben Byfield.
That's a good call. I actually have the ability to give it to everyone.
Oh.
So I'm going to go ahead and do that.
So I
start
should
putting away my night.
negate. I should not do what okay.
Save your spell slot.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
It's called Eyes of Night, if you want to.
Ooh.
So you can clearly see these kind of bands of what looks like dark obsidian glass passing by. And as you're driving through this tunnel, Alice has been sitting quietly the whole ride, and she starts to kind of she doesn't breathe because she's an android. There's no air coming in and out, but you can see her kind of start to move back and forth subtly, as if she's kind of rocking back and forth. Unconsciously, she doesn't seem to be doing it purposely, but that she's clearly feeling a field or something that's making her uncomfortable.
Look at her. Everything all right back there?
She kind of, her head slowly turns to you, too slow, and she blinks, and then continues to kind of subtly rock back and forth, and then
Good talk.
nods.
Good talk.
So the tunnel ends somewhat abruptly, kind of light approaching you. The tunnel ends in what you can only describe as a well. And you describe it as a well because you come into a small circular spot that is, you estimate maybe 100 feet below what looks like an opening at the top of this long cylindrical tube that you're at the bottom of. And you see there's like dashed yellow lines along the floor, marking out like hazard areas. And you realize you've driven onto a lift. And for the moment, it doesn't move. And you have an opportunity to stay in the car or get out.
Well, I can see... Do I see any kind of lever, switch?
So it's almost like you're at the bottom of a silo. And around the edges of this silo or this lift, the surface is smooth. It looks like plasteel is no longer rock or concrete or anything. Now it's plasteel. And it's been painted like a glossy black. So that the light radiating down from the top kind of bounces off this glossy blackness, and you can see relatively well, but you can't see any kind of markings or indentations or anything on the sides.
Can we ask Alice for some assistance on things we might be looking out for, or what our intended purpose here is?
Sure. What do you want to ask her?
Can you kind of give us some information on what we're doing here?
So she looks around and kind of looks to each of you and then looks back to you, lad, because you've been kind of inside her mind. She goes, "You've seen them. The ones inside me that I keep in. I've only been here once before. It was different then. But I know that's when they gave them to me and told me to keep them in.
They're here.
And then she kind of touches her chest. She goes, "They're here."
Do you recognize this place, Alice?
Yes. It goes up and down.
Which should we be doing?
I was going to ask, I'm sorry, before anything starts moving, though, I want to hop out of the car, and on the lift, I just want to start setting up a claymore, just in case we need it. It takes 3 rounds to set this bad boy up, so I just kind of want to, get it moving, get it built.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to put it, I guess, I have to choose which way it's facing because it fires off in a cone. So I don't know if I should do it which direction we're thinking. There might be an enemy, I suppose, when we get up, but I'll face it. We're on a circular elevator thing. I guess I'll just face it so it's facing out from like my door, like that direction, out that way, in case anyone approaches the driver's side of the door of the car. Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me you're on the driver's side. I was like, passenger side. Okay.
I think
so. All right.
Randy's passenger and Kitty's in the back, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Dasher, as you're setting your claymore up, the lift starts to rise slowly and soundlessly. And up above, you see the kind of white circle of light about 100 feet up. You see it start to flash intermittently red. And as the elevator rises, you start to hear an alarm. And it's like a distinct alarm klaxon. And as you're rising and you get closer and closer, you realize this isn't just like there's a lift, it's moving alarm. This is like a building-wide like alert alarm.
I didn't do it.
Would this be considered a trap?
No, this is not a trap. So as the elevator rises, you rise into the kind of starkly white, almost like sterile, surgically white, waiting or like loading area of what looks like a logistics central hub. And in front of you is essentially a loading dock that looks like it has a couple doors out to the left and right. And then behind you is an entrance through semi-transparent plasteel into Heihachi Corp's Android labs. And the alarm that you're seeing going off, and it's very loud, is you can see it like all through this kind of semi-transparent door down these hallways. You can see it going off, like you can see 300-400 feet ahead of you down this like long corridor that rises up on either side, 6 or 7 stories. The alarm klaxons are going off everywhere, and there are people running. You can see drone soldiers. You can see people dressed in kind of white lab coats. There are all kinds of people inside this lab that are running, and they're all running in one direction. They're running away from you.
Ooh.
And as you see these kind of folks, there's nobody really milling around. Everybody's moving like very efficiently. And the square in Viper's hand comes to life for a moment. And Tannhauser appears and he goes, "I've bought you some time. I made a bomb threat and backed it up with some actual threats outside. The guards should be responding to that. The corridors to your left should take you where you need to go. Move quickly, move quietly. Go now."
Wait, 1 second. Wait. What kind of bomb?
So he blinks out of existence. And the door, the semi-transparent doors to the entrance to this lab slide open silently. And now that the doors are open, like the klaxons are even louder. You can see that there are drone soldiers that are about 100 yards away, and they're moving in the opposite direction so they can't see you. The corridor, as you step through these double doors, the corridor to your left that Tannhauser indicated is vacant for now. It seems that he was true to his word and that he's managed to move any security that might have been there. But you'll have to move quickly. So
Can I look for trap as well as we go?
Sure. Let's see. It would be investigation checks. So as you approach the first corner of this corridor, I want everybody to give me investigation checks.
Am I still a car? Or we're going down a hallway?
You would not be able to fit through the double doors as a car.
Okay, so I am not a car anymore.
I say nobody step right there. Just so you know.
Hey, lad, a little less rubby, touchy-feely next time.
I heard the engine purring. I thought you liked it. Sorry.
No, that was grump. I was grumping. What am I roll? Am I supposed to roll for something?
Investigation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
14.
Okay. Give me those other investigation rolls. I want to hear what everybody has.
3. Sorry.
3? Okay.
25.
Okay.
20 for me.
Okay.
Ooh.
So, who is with Alice? Alice has kind of raised her hand to have someone hold her hand. Who is taking?
I would
Alice
be
with them?
feeling like I would hold her hand because I was the one that was holding her hand when I turned into the thing. But
Okay.
I'll be flanking on the other side.
Okay. So as you approach the corner, this first corner of the corridor, it's a blind corner. You kind of slide up to the edge of it, and a quick peek around the corner shows Viper that there is a pair of infrared security cameras that are cleverly hidden in the floor, and that you can get by them now that you know that they're there. But I need to have stealth checks from everybody to see if you can slide past these infrared cameras.
I can just bypass them by disabling them.
That's one
With
option.
a bypass program.
Okay. Do you need to do any kind of check for that?
When a trap that you are aware of based on technology or magic is triggered. Okay, so I can wait until we try to get by it first, and then if it triggers, then I can. Yeah. You can use your reaction to disable the trap until the end of your next turn. Yeah.
Okay. So give me stealth checks from everybody.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we have no paladins in full scale mail. Yeah.
Ben got a nat 20 on his stealth.
Woo!
That quiet electric engine.
I got an 8. I do have disadvantage because of my armor.
12.
I have plus 10 and I got 13. So
Oh wait, I have +6. Wait. I have 15. I looked at
It's
the
a good
wrong-
thing you got that +10 there,
Yeah.
Dasher.
jeez.
That rogue bonus coming in handy. Yeah, the DC on this one was 5, so you make it.
Jesus. Cameras
you do make
suck.
it.
I'm glad.
So as you slide by them, you like see kind of through the floor grating, a slight red hint to the air. Recognizing the trap for what it is, you slide past it.
Does Alice have to make a check? How does that work?
Alice appears to know where it is and just kind of adroitly steps past it. And adroitly steps past it. I didn't try for that one. That was natural. That was an accident. We do puns in all ways here.
Very good.
So as the klaxons continue to sound, and you're moving quickly down this corridor, you come to a T intersection, and
spot of
there's
T
no
or the letter T.
The letter T.
Okay.
So there's a
Asher's not as excited then.
We're in Boston suddenly.
There's a corridor to the right and a corridor to the left, and there's no. Both of them are. You can't see far enough down them to indicate which way they go.
So I have this thing I can do in order to see a further point than where we stand. The thing is, it kind of requires a range weapon that I have to either fire or, I guess, throw, DM, if that could also be. Let me read you what this is. It's called Rebound Shot. It's part of the action used to cast this ability. You choose a point you can see within range of a weapon and fire your weapon at that point. When the projectile arrives at the point, you momentarily gain sight from its location. Immediately after, you can redirect the projectile to make a ranged weapon attack against a target I see from the projectile's location. That's a bit much. I mainly just want to use it to see. So I can basically bend bullets or something. I don't know if it has to be a firearm though. It just says a weapon that obviously has range. So I guess we could just throw something, right? And that could work the same way.
So the corridors to each side, right and left, are about you estimate about 50 yards to the next turn. It's about 150 feet. You do have your familiar floating around alongside you.
That is, yeah.
And the orblet you would not need to throw. You could just have orblet go down one of these corridors.
Oh my gosh!
And provide you sight.
Smart. I can see through the orblet.
You can.
I'll just be blind and deaf while I do it.
And orblet tells you this by just gently nudging you on your shoulder.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I tell the group that I can check both directions. I'll just be deaf and blind while I do it because I will be seeing through my orblet. So they are aware of that fact.
Sounds good. I'd let you use my gun to try to do that shot thing, but it will explode if anyone else tries to fire it, so it's probably not a good idea.
Oh, that's good to know. I will not touch that.
So,
I send the orblet.
Are you going to send orblet which direction?
Left first. And can I put my my hand on someone's shoulder? Will anyone volunteer to let me just hold on to you so I can have a sense of if we move or not?
We're bike buddies. You can hold my shoulder.
Okay, hold your shoulder, and I send orblet down the left path.
Okay.
But also stealthily. I mean, it's floating, but just I don't know, just
it probably has the ability to make stealth checks, right?
So as orblet approaches the corner of the corridor, the blind corner, you can't see past. Give me a stealth check for orblet.
Very well. 13 stealth.
Okay, so orblet glides along along the top of the corridor, which is 10 or 12 feet up, so kind of out of eye shot of anything that's relatively close to it, gliding along the top of the corner. And as it approaches the corner, it slides past and over an automated security turret that is posted up at the corner.
Well, I say that. As I see stuff, I say it because I can tell the group. So I'm oh, it's an automated turret about this far in.
Well, the rest of us were having a conversation. Rude to interrupt.
I can't hear that.
You can't be sassed if you can't hear the sass. But Orblet can see that there's this automated security turret, and then further down the corridor, there's another turn.
Okay, I can only send my Orblet about like 100 feet from me before I would lose ability to send it any further.
So you're right at the edge of how far you can send Orblet.
Okay, so it looks like it's turning what way after that?
Another left.
Another left?
So
right.
If you go down to the end of this corridor, it takes a right turn. Up at the corner is an automated security turret, and then you estimate about another 100 feet down is another turn going to the left. And along this hallway, there are doors. Each of them look sealed shut. There's no these are doors that appear to slide open, and all of them are sealed shut.
Okay. Before I went into like my little Orblet vision, were we at the very edge of where we would start turning into the hallway? Like,
You're right in the middle of the T intersection.
Okay. So, can I guess, kind of just nudge them to, like, I guess, walk forward?
You can just tell us to walk forward, right?
Yeah, I'm going to say that, too.
Okay.
But, like, basically, I want a little bit more distance to see around the corner. So, if I could just, like, move closer to, like, where the first left or the first turn out of that T section is before we hit the turret area. Just give myself more footage of view, you know?
Loud guides are forward.
So you slide up to the edge of this turn where the automated security turret is, and it looks like you guys can slide by underneath it, knowing that it's there. But if you want to do that and then proceed down this corridor, Orbit's going to be able to tell you what's around the next turn, but you need stealth checks from everybody to slide under this turret.
Do we get advantage because we know where it is?
Is it like a rotating thing? Is there like a beam of light that's like scanning? Like what's the vibe here?
So it is it's a glass dome that's like attached to the side of the wall, kind of up high, maybe 8 or 9 feet up. And you can see doors beside each side of the glass dome. In the glass dome is a 360-degree targeting camera. Looks like behind bulletproof glass. And then on either side of the glass are 2 doors in which you can see, like, they're not closed. There are 2 like Gatling turrets on the inside that can fold down. But there is a small blind spot right at the very bottom of the turret that you can exploit to slide past it.
I still have a smoke bomb too. Could I just set that bad boy off and maybe it can't see us go by?
Unless it's like infrared or something.
Oh, fair.
So you can't tell from where you're standing what kind of vision it has, whether it's thermal, infrared, on other spectrums of light, or whether it's just a standard camera. But if you were to set off a smoke bomb, it would cloud where the turret is.
Well, I don't feel like I need it. I feel like I can just slide underneath this.
I can use a bypass if we need.
The bypass lets us go by undetected.
If it sets off a trap, she can just cancel it out basically. So I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. With a reaction.
That's better than throwing a bomb, I suppose. And they would alert somebody to our.
There's already been a bomb threat. Who's gonna? They'll just assume it's part of it.
Yeah.
You gotta be quick though, because it just disables it until the end of my next turn. So I guess that's like a full 12 seconds.
So we're trying stealth checks to get through.
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I don't think
Ben got
Lad
a
should be
9.
the one guiding the person on the stealth check anymore because he has disadvantage on stealth checks.
He does?
Yes.
I got a 13, I'll have you know, even with disadvantage.
Okay.
Okay. 16.
Yep.
Excellent.
Ben had the 9. So.
I got a 22. So.
Okay, so the DC was 9. So you make it.
Ooh.
Just barely.
Just a bit.
You make it. And as you hustle down this corridor, Viper, now that you're past this turret, you can see, you can extend Orbit far enough to see around the corner of the next turn. And you find a double doors that is locked. and it looks like it's there's a keypad to the right with like a hand scanner, and there's an optical scanner. But even from this distance, it looks like something that you have a lot of experience with and that you might be able to hack.
Is there a data jack port or something?
So from where Orblet can see, as you're approaching this, you can't see it yet.
Okay.
But the door doesn't appear to have any other security. There's no like camera over the door. There's no, Orblet doesn't see any security in terms of turrets or
Okay.
People around. It's just this, double wide door with a pad next to it.
See a double wide door with a pad next to it.
Let's do this.
I don't see any issues, so let's go ahead and try to get through, I suppose. See what's in
I'm
there.
gonna cast guidance on Viper.
All right.
Wait, okay, yeah, I guess I am opening the door.
Who the hell
I got
is
these-
going to do it? I mean, I can open it if you want. Just some explosives. I'll get it open.
No, we'll keep this quiet.
You've heard of a lockpick? This is a bomb pick.
You jam a stick of dynamite in a keyhole, that door's opening up, I'll tell you.
Sure.
All right.
Okay. So in my arm, I've got like this set of the hacking tools, like it's like integrated. So my arm kind of just, I don't know, comes to life and does its own thing with like the tools.
So you do find a data port on the kind of underside of this pad, and you're able to access it with your hacking tools. So as you enter this system, your vision kind of fades out, and what you're able to see is like a wire mesh frame network that represents. You can see kind of not only just this set of doors, but you can see there are a series of doors kind of stretching off in a number of different directions. You find yourself essentially in what looks like a maze. And you think that if you're able to get through this maze, you might be able to unlock this door. That this door has essentially become a series of doors you need to navigate. So while you're jacked into this, only you can see this. For the rest of the party, the alarms continue to go off. The klaxons are loud, flashing red lights up and down the corridors. And you don't hear anything other than that yet. So, Viper.
Yes.
When it comes to hacking,
Yes.
you are going to be trying to get into this system, and so we need you to make some checks. But you have an option at first, which is the door that you're in front of has a hacking level of 2. So I want you to roll a d6 to see if you can get past it, but then you've got some options if you can get past this initial door as to how to approach the rest of the system.
Well, I rolled a 2.
Okay, that's enough. That's not that you're maybe a little bit out of practice, but you managed to slice through the security on this door.
Okay.
However, because of your inartful nature or lack of practice, you take a lockdown point. So you're now at 1 lockdown point, and now you've got some options in front of you. You have 2 subsequent doors you can choose from. One, at first glance, looks like a relatively standard security procedure. The protocols on it, they're familiar to you, but it's highly watched. Like, this is an often used pathway in the built-in security system, and so there's more observation on it from the internal admins. So you expect you can probably roll for the same level of DC. You need to roll above a 2 on a D6 to succeed. But if you fail, or if you hit the DC exactly, you're going to take twice the lockdown points. On the other hand, the door to your right looks more complex. It's got a tougher system, but it's a back door that's mostly sealed up and that nobody really uses in the security system, and so nobody's watching it. So unless you can if you roll a 4 out of 6, 4 or 5 or 6, 4 or 5 or 6 higher, 4 or higher on a D6, you'll be able to get through this door. If you fail, if you hit it exactly, you won't take any lockdown points. But if you fail, scuffing it up that badly will alert the system admins to someone's attentions to this door. So you will take 1. So you have a choice.
So back door, I need a 4 through 6.
Correct.
Most used door was what I
You
need.
need a 2 or higher to succeed. But if you hit the DC or lower, you're going to attract more attention on the system.
You're a good hacker. We got faith in you. Open the door.
Which door?
Open the high risk one.
High risk.
So it's a 2. I mean, come on. You got such a
Reward,
good chance
hopefully?
of. What are the odds?
Man, I hope the left path was right.
Does guidance do anything for this because it's a
I don't think these are abilities.
different kind of?
Yeah, it's not
I don't think that
ability,
these
Okay.
count. Yeah, for any of that stuff. I don't think there's any adding anything to this shit. You just. What'd you roll?
I rolled a 2. Again.
I'm sorry, were you rolling for a 2 and above or a 4 and above?
I thought
You
we were
said-
doing the 2 and above because that's the higher risk
Yeah.
one.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. Okay. All right. So yeah, you hit it exactly. So you take a lockdown point. But because you hit it exactly and didn't fail, you do not take 2 lockdown points, which would dump shock you. So you're still in, but you're feeling pretty attended to. So you've got one more check to make. You can see, like, as the hedges of this maze you're in are leading to a singular point at the core of the system.
Hey guys. Want to let you know, if I don't make this next hack, I'm gonna be out of game DM. So if I forget the terms for all these things. I haven't read the book in a while. I just take damage, but I'm not out of commission, right?
So because this is this is not a high, a high security system in the realm of this universe, you'll take dump shock, so you'll take damage, but it's not big enough that it will knock you out.
Okay.
So just do it then.
Let's just do it.
Yeah, it's just full send,
We
I
can
guess.
heal you. We can heal you. You take anything.
You act like you've never accidentally blown a hand off or something in your life.
I say she's lucky, and all my arms and legs are they're all metal.
Yeah, I'm sorry that
That'll be
I
a
blew all your arms
5.
and legs off,
Yeah.
Ben.
All right, I'm gonna take another d6.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a 5. I really focus in this time. I'm like, all right. The nerves were getting to
A
me
5,
before,
good.
but now I'm like, I need to.
5,
Watching.
excellent. So as the energy and data flowing along your hacking tools finds the correct keyholes in this third door, it slides open effortlessly. You have sliced the security on this door, and as your job is complete, you can escape the system. And to the rest of the party, the door in front of you slides open and reveals what looks like a control room, at the center of which is a panel or pedestal that's attached to what looks like a slab or a bed or something. Not a hospital bed, but like a cot in the center of the room, and around it in three different angles are control panels and computer systems that all seem to focus in on this central point. Are you going to stay in the system, Viper, or are you done in the system?
Oh, I was still in the system?
Mm-hmm.
What you were explaining was outside the system, right?
Correct.
Okay, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, you've gained access and sliced the door, but now there are other pathways in this system you could try to follow, but you're dangerously high on lockdown points.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get out of the system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you retract your hacking tools, and before any of you can do anything, Alice, as this door slides open and you're able to see inside, kind of just wanders in. And she looks around, she goes, I've been here before. This is where they gave me them, I think. It's so hard to think with their voices. But she kind of wanders into the middle of this room and, like, puts her hand on the pedestal in the middle. And then she turns back to look at all of you.
Thumbs up?
Thumbs up. We all give her a thumbs up.
Did we do good?
What's my little either of my thingies doing?
So you're all still out in the corridor. You can enter this room with Alice if you want, or
I was walking in the room.
Yeah, I'm going in.
Is there anything, any traps, any like laser beams, cameras?
So not that you can see. Alice has kind of inartfully walked into the middle of the room and didn't really, check for anything. But what this looks like is an AI lab. It looks like the center of one of Heihachi Corp's most, valuable enterprises, which is the creation of, and use of limited artificial intelligences. Artificial intelligences are at times placed into either computer systems in buildings, cities. They help run everything in New Lisbon. They help run the sewer systems and sanitation. They make sure that logistics are done for food supply, but they're all very limited in their scope. There are more powerful artificial intelligences that it's rumored Heihachi Corp has worked on, developed, toyed around with, and perhaps crafted into something that might approach sentience in labs just like this all over this building. And so Alice is standing there with her hand on this pedestal next to the bed, and she goes, I do remember you being here, although I don't know if it's me. It may have been one of the others. But we were here before. Definitely, we were here before. And as you, Viper, as you walk into this lab, the glass rectangle that you have vibrates again, and Tannhauser comes back on. And you can see he's moving now. You can see he's like holding something up in front of him, like a camera or a phone or something. He's moving. You can see other people in the background, like he's walking past them in the same kind of white antiseptic halls that you've just traversed. And he says, I see you've reached it. You're at the decoder. It's in the middle of the room. You need to shred every last AI in that android. We can't allow her to fall into the wrong hands. We can't allow her to get out of this lab. And we need to destroy that Heihachi AI. Have her jack in, and I'll handle the systems on my end. I'm moving there now. But be aware, once I do, it's gonna get hairy. And you notice there's actually 3 entrances to this lab. There's the one that you've just come through. And then kind of from where you're standing in the northeast corner and then in the northwest corner, there are also doors, much like the ones that you just hacked. So there are 3 entrances to this room, and there are a number of data banks that are surrounding this pedestal in the middle, which you think might offer you some cover from these doorways. But he looks at you and he goes, talking to you, Viper.
Yeah.
He says, look, I know I haven't given you much reason to trust me, but if you want to help Lorelei, I can help her. You just need to do your part. Get to that pedestal.
What?
You think he smirks like almost smugly, and he goes, what, you think I didn't know about your sister? I told you, we see everything. He looks around and like ducks into a little alcove and he goes, I know what she does. I know why you do what you do. I can help her and I can help you too, but you need to help me first. Get to that pedestal and help her jack in. He's talking about Alice, and Alice is kind of just docilely standing there waiting for whatever to happen.
Viper just kind of stands there for a bit, processing.
Are you an ogre? Because you have a lot of layers.
A lot of layers.
Is this person your family? That he's gonna help?
I don't know. Is he gonna help? Seems kind of like blackmail at this point. Is he still on the thing, or did he like bleep out?
No, he's still there.
What happens after we do this?
With you, or with the AIs?
With our group that's in this room now.
Well, I'm gonna do what I can to get you out, but you may be on your own.
The fuck you say?
I covered the speaker. I covered the mic. I'm like, how are we all feeling about this right now?
Feeling like we may have made a mistake.
Definitely not feeling great about any of this. We just
feeling kind of trapped right now, like I'm back in the jail.
What choice do we have at this point?
We could kind of just the little girl and put all this to bed.
It sounds like there's more than just her. She said we.
Well, right. She's got all the AI. He told us already if we get rid of her, they'll spread out to the internet. I don't really see why that's such a bad thing.
I don't know, guys. I live my life a quarter mile at a time, so I don't really... Whatever we do here, I'm good with either way.
Yeah, it's your sister on the line, so you decide.
Put the thing back in my pocket. Grit my teeth and walk over to Alice. And I don't know, I guess I say, can you jack into the port here, Alice?
So she climbs up. She climbs up on this little bed that's next to the pedestal. And you can see there are jacks that you can use to access a data port in her neck, kind of under her chin, like under her jawline. And so she lays down and she looks up at you and she goes, I did what I was supposed to do. I held them in.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I do next after this.
Just part of life. Figure out what comes next.
She kind of nods slowly and then turns her head so that you can jack in. So Viper, for this process, this not only requires her to jack in, but for you to jack in as well. You notice that there's an operator's station that has a data port that you can connect to, but that you'll need to assist in this process, guiding the shredding of the data inside of Alice's memory core. It doesn't look like there's much cover standing in the middle of this room, but there is a wireless emitter that you have in your hacking tools that you can connect to the port so that you can move away from it and not be directly connected to it.
So I can wirelessly connect, basically.
Correct. It is less resilient, though, than your built-in data jacks.
So, like, in my knowledge, if I were to take another lockdown point, would that, break it or something? Or
no, so this wouldn't affect so much your lockdown points. It affects whether or not you can keep your connection. So your connection, your data jack in your body is as resilient as you are, and it will continue to work as long as you're conscious. But if you use a wireless transmitter, if the pedestal were to get damaged in any way, it might sever your connection.
Decisions that I don't know how to choose. You think I should do the wired? Wiring?
Sure, wired and we'll just protect
wired.
you.
Yeah.
We know that Lad has a friggin' bulletproof shield ability he can put up.
Right.
So I'm about to cast what I'm going to call Digital Guardians.
Whoa.
Which is a flavored spirit guardians that lasts for 10 minutes. So I'm gonna call forth these digital spirits to protect. They flit around in a distance of 15 feet, and they just kind of look like these neon light digital figures that are just kind of floating around in a 15-foot sphere around me.
Excellent.
I hand the glass tablet thing to who wants it. Obviously, I can't use it if I go under, so who wants to have the contact?
Anyone other than Dasher is fine with me.
I'll take it.
Okay, give it to Ben Diofield.
I'm literally the most charismatic person in this party who talked us out of prison.
This thing's the same size as a grenade. You might throw it accidentally. I'll take it.
I don't even have any grenades left on me, so that's impossible.
I honestly do not know what comes next.
Speaking of, I would like to,
But
while
I'm
we're
gonna
doing
go
this, if I
under.
could scan around the room just to see if there's any explosives hidden anywhere or anything like that that might go off while we're in here or anything like that.
I'm also putting that glass orb in my trunk. That's where it's going. So my trunk pops open. I drop it in there. Click it close.
Maybe test those other doors to see if, I don't know, maybe put a rock, like open them and like put a rock there so we can get out, or I don't know, just in case it tries to block. I don't know. All right, I'm going under. Here we go.
All right. So as you jack into the system, you come into a virtual space that looks, if Lad had been able to see it, an awful lot like what Lad saw inside of Alice's mind. You see Alice there rendered in virtual reality standing on this sheet of ice. And above you is what looks like a, for lack of a better term, like a satellite. It looks like a massive camera eye floating, with panels and wires stretching out kind of into the ether. And you get a feel for the system as it's, interacting with Alice's body. And the camera eye of this satellite, as you start up the process, bores a hole into the ice that's about, in the virtual space, maybe 6 or 7 feet wide. And the hole starts to slowly widen, and you can see these forms beneath the ice start to get sucked up into this beam of light. And the little ones, the kind of smaller forms you see are relatively quickly disintegrated as they're pulled up into this beam. But you can see deeper under the ice. There's these larger forms that are kind of resisting the pull of this beam as you begin to shred the AIs that are stored in Alice's memory core. And while you're doing this, as the process starts, the sky above you suddenly becomes a deep red. You see like flashes of thunder and lightning kind of in the cloud layer above you. And you realize that the system is becoming aware of what's happening, and it is not happy.
Like the system as in like Alice?
No, the system. So the Heihachi Corp system, the virtual space in which you are, which you're accessing Alice's memory core through, starts to realize that you are not a welcome party. And it is starting to react. And in the real, well, Dasher and Lad and Ben, where are you positioning yourselves around Viper?
I would say that I'm kind of near so that everything is orbiting around all of us.
I'm standing by one of the doors, and I've got my revolver pointed at her. And I want to make sure that I make my clothes look like I work in this building.
Okay. You want to look like a drone soldier?
Yeah, sure. My outfit or whatever. Yeah. Just in case anyone comes in, I'd like them to think I'm on their side.
I don't know why, but I feel really uncomfortable in this digital space right now.
And Ben, where are you standing?
Oh, sorry, right next to her.
Okay. As she accesses the system, and as the system becomes aware of Viper, and the AIs start to shred, you hear a clattering of doorways down the hall from the hall that you came out of, and the steady tromp of feet, metallic feet along the plasteel of the corridor. And the door that you came through slides open, and through it march 3 rigid droid riot drones. And I need everybody to roll for initiative.
Riot drones.
Does my orblet also?
Yes, your orblet. Okay. Well, so you have 2 options. Your orblet also has a data jack. You can decide to have your orblet provide computing assistance, like CPU assistance to you in the virtual space, or you can have it stay out and help to combat enemies that are trying to kill you in the real.
Probably best if I have the extra computing. The extra computing is going to be like what, like an advantage or something?
Yeah, you'll get a bonus. Yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I'll just roll my own initiative.
I rolled terrible on initiative. 8.
12 for Lad.
Okay.
10.
19.
Woo! Okay. At the top of the order, Dasher. So these 3 riot drones have walked in right next to you, and they have not even turned to clock that you're there.
Good. Well, I still yell out freeze when they come in while aiming at the other 3 people. And I act
very convincingly.
Yeah, I act like my gun is like jammed or whatever, and I like look at one of them. I say, "Gun malfunction. Can you fix?" And I hand my gun to one of them. You hand
your gun to
I hand my revolver to those guys.
Okay, give me a performance check.
Deception check, maybe, perhaps.
That's fine. Deception. That's fine. Deception's fine.
I love it.
I'll take it.
17.
17. Okay, you the droid on the left, closest to you, turns and like takes the revolver out, the extended revolver. He then like immediately turns back to the center of the room because it's not his turn yet, so he can't do anything with it yet, but he now has it in his hand.
Okay, great. And then I'm just gonna use the next part of my turn to I'm just gonna ready my thumper. Also pretend like I'm aiming it at them, though, and that's it. That'll be all my actions for right now.
Okay. Lad, you're up.
So, are they within 15 feet of me?
Yes, they are.
All right, they all need to take or do a Wisdom 16 save.
Okay. Let's see. They all fail.
Excellent. So they all take 13 points of radiant damage.
Ooh, what did you hit them with?
My digital guardians.
Ah, very nice.
So that doesn't even count as anything because it was already going. So
Yeah.
now I can have my turn. I'm so excited. I'm gonna grab my holy relic and have this light beam that kind of descends through the ceiling and onto these guys. This is a 40-foot cylinder. I'm gonna kind of position it in a way that it just affects those three.
Okay.
So this is gonna be a con 16 save for them.
Okay.
Thanks for not making it affect me, even though I just inexplicably handed my gun to them. Helping them.
I'm sure
Betrayal!
it's fine. Deus Ex Machina, yeah, that's right.
So they all fail, and one even got a nat 1. So
Hell yeah. So they take an additional 13 points of this neon beam damage.
all right.
Did he just summon like an orbital strike from outer space?
Yeah, basically.
Hell yeah.
You played Gears of War. They've got like the Hammer of Dawn.
Yeah.
That's what just happened.
Excellent.
And I'm just gonna position myself between them and Viper.
Okay. All right. Dasher, Lad have gone. Viper, you are up. So Viper, while you're in the virtual space, you're watching and kind of watchfully waiting as these AIs are starting to get shred, and then out of the hole comes surging this black form that appears to like it just radiates malicious energy, and the AIs around it kind of shrink away from it, and you see this as like the certainly the dominant AI in this group, and it is like a salmon swimming upstream. It is fighting this suction of this beam in your virtual space, and you realize it's for the beam to work. For this, the way that it's working is it's holding these things in place and shredding them, and it's trying to get past that. It's trying to swim upstream through this beam to the system itself. You realize this AI is trying to reach the system itself to infect it, and so you can counteract it by hacking against this AI. So I'm going to have you roll, using your hacker tools, I'm going to have you roll a contested hacking check against this AI that's trying to surge past the defenses of the system and get to the system to infect it. And you have Orblet with you, who can provide additional processing power, can boost you a little bit. He's going to give you a +2
Okay.
to any roll.
So not advantage, just 1d20 and then add on stuff. Okay.
Correct. We're going to roll them at the same time. What'd you roll?
Well, I rolled a base of 4, and then I add +6 because it's double efficiency is 10, and then +2 from the Orblet is 12.
Okay. He rolls an 11.
Yes.
So you win the first check. You see it like, you see it surging up out of this light, like trying to get past the like shredding of its data, the dissolution of the lattices of its mind, and it lets out this like roar as it can't get past. You're holding it down, holding it in this like lacerating light, and it takes a lockdown point.
Good.
And you do not.
Hey.
So with that being Viper's turn, the droid to the leftmost droid, nearest to Dasher in the reel, looks at its 2 weapons and remembers, because it's a droid, it has multi-attack, and so it fires both. It's got a grenade launcher that fires a container that has a gel in it, and then it also fires Dasher's revolver.
And then it, of course, has to make a a saving throw as it tries to fire my
That's right.
revolver.
Forgot
That's
your
right.
revolver explodes.
So
That's why you gave it.
Genius.
Yeah, of course. So it has to make a dexterity saving throw of 16.
it rolls a 14.
Hey, that's what we like to hear. Then it's going to take 22 damage from the self-destruct off of that
Okay.
revolver. Ah, I told you it was broken. Why'd you fire it?
Because it fires its gel shot first. He's aiming at Lad. And rolls a 19 to hit.
Oh, my AC is 20. Sorry.
Ooh, so he misses. My goodness. So this like container, this like canister of gel goes flying by you and hits the wall behind you. Makes an impact on the door and just kind of falls, dead to the floor. And Ben, it's your turn.
Actually, because it started its turn in the digital guardian space, it needs to do another Wisdom 16 save.
Okay. Yeah, it didn't move. It stayed right in the same place. Oh, I rolled a 17.
So it takes half of 18. So it takes 9 more damage.
Okay.
All right. Quick 31
All right.
damage it takes for from doing nothing, basically.
All right, Ben, you're up.
The one that's taken a lot of damage, I'm going to walk up to it and I'm just going to look at it and say, "Eat my exhaust." And I'm going to turn around and bend over, and a shotgun exhaust pipe is going to come out of my butt, and I'm going to shoot him with my shotgun.
I hate
I'll say
that.
like fart, but
all this time, all this energy, all this like thinking and planning we did was worth it for that moment.
You could have, I have augment where you have a gun inside you or whatever.
So what I'm hearing is it's
that's
not it's robots and millennials that are eating ass tonight.
All this time we thought he was Ben Biofuel, but he's actually Ben Dover.
There it is.
Yes. That's a 17 to hit.
Let me see. That hits. That
Okay,
hits.
good. So it's 44, and I think it's just flat 44.
Okay. Keep it with it.
Just 8 points of damage.
Okay, you blow a hole right
Perfectly
through the middle of this droid, and it falls over, smoking. The light gone out of its systems. So it's out.
I stand back up and face the other one, so I'm not just like there
Yeah.
bent over.
So the second riot drone turns to Ben, who's to bend over, who's the closest, and like strikes out a shock baton and swings it at you twice.
He has to do a Wisdom 16 save first.
Good call. That's right. He fails it. Just tanks the damage. How much is he taking?
Ooh, 17.
Okay.
This spell is broken, but it's fine.
It's in a confined space. It's like even if he wanted to move, he'd have to move back out into the hallway. So he swings at Ben twice and misses both times. Rolls a 4 and a 6. So that shock baton goes swinging by your head. Perhaps so bowled over by the fact that the droid just saw a shotgun come out of your behind. Just flabbergasted by it. That's right. The third droid, the third riot drone, aims its cannon at...
Saving throw.
Saving throw, yes. A 6.
He takes 13.
So he picks up his cannon and he fires it at Lad. You're standing in front of Viper, providing her cover.
Yes.
All right, he fires it at Lad, and he fires another 19, which won't hit.
Oh, it does not hit.
That's the suck.
I put up my shield and
Yeah,
blocked that shit.
Lad the tank just like shots like pinging off his nano armor. All right, and we're back up at the top of the order. Dasher, you're now standing next to the smoking ruins of what used to be a riot drone. Two others next to it, but you notice one of the other doors slides open, and through it march 3 more riot drones.
oh,
Sick. All right. There's the ones next to me.
Are they within 15 feet of me?
God damn.
They are within 15 feet of you.
All right. They all need to have a saving throw then?
Saving
they could
throws
quick
the
saving
combat.
Just quick. Each of them take like
So
20 points of damage or whatever.
all of them pass.
Okay, so they take half of 11, so 5.
Okay.
Is there any way I can get advantage on the ones that are near me for sneak attack, I guess, trying to picture the battlefield? If anybody's engaged with bend biofuel, if I could try to hit it with the old antenna instead of blasting.
So you are, as far as the drone, the riot drones are concerned, you're still friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact they have not put together the fact that your weapon blew up in their compatriot's hand, they're not that smart.
Yeah,
so like they haven't put together that you're still showing off a friendly IFF
Okay.
code. So you could walk up behind either of them without having to make a stealth check and attack with advantage.
Excellent. That's exactly what I want to do then to one of those. Whichever one has, one of them are, well, they've both already taken plenty of damage, but whichever one looks weaker, I guess, if I can ascertain that or at all.
They're essentially equal.
All right. That's fine. Well, let's see. Wow, I got 20s, not nat 20s on both of those rolls, but
Dirty 20s.
yeah,
Nice.
two dirty 20s.
That hits.
All right, cool. Then they will take 20 damage, the one that I hit. And then with my bonus action, I will toss my last flashbang at the group of 3 that just came into the room, I guess, to see if, I don't know, they have eyes. Maybe it'll still fuck up their systems. I don't know.
So these are their condition immunities. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Charmed, exhaustion, frightened, paralyzed, petrified, poisoned. Blind is not one of them.
Hey, neither is blind and deafened if they don't make a 14 Constitution saving throw. Then
Your flashbang hits all 3.
hell yeah! So
All
there we go,
3.
everybody.
The closest one of them got was a 13 total.
Thank God I took the thing that added 1 to the checks on all of my grenades. So
That's a good skill to choose because you would have hit that DC.
yeah.
So the flashbang explodes in front of these 3 new combatants, and you can see their visual sensors go haywire. Like they're going in different directions, and all 3 are blinded and deafened.
I know it won't work, but I still say, "Oh no, I've been hacked to attack you."
All right, Lad, you're up.
Ooh.
Lad the tank.
Do they all take damage again or no? Just
On their
At the
turn.
beginning of their turn, yeah. Let's see, what can I do that isn't... No one's been damaged yet, right?
Correct. Nobody has
none of
taken
us,
any
no.
injuries.
Okay. I am just going to do my light flame attack to whichever one looks the most fucked up right now.
So the one that is standing right next to Dasher is like smoking. It's very hurt.
Okay. So this is going to be a dexterity 16 save.
Okay. 11 plus 0 is 11, so he fails it.
Okay. Going to take 6 damage.
And that is just enough to knock it out.
Yes.
Which one was that one? Was that one by us?
That
Yeah.
was the second one that was closest to you and Dasher.
Okay.
Yeah, the 3 that are blind are completely untouched. There's one remaining riot drone that's damaged significantly. All right, so Lad, anything else in your turn?
Here's a question. I don't know. Maybe one of you guys can answer this. Can I go like to the back of the room to like get them out of range of my digital guardians and then go back so that it enacts on them again, or
I
no?
don't think
It's
probably
I
when
think
they,
it's ju-
when
yeah,
they
just on
enter
cast
it,
and
not
then-
if you
yeah.
like move it and make them.
Yeah, the wording is like kind of vague, but yeah, I'll go with that. So yeah, I'm good then. If everyone's full on health, then I'm done.
Okay.
Can I actually? Can you hold a bonus action, or is that not a thing?
I don't think so. You can prepare an action, but you've already taken an action.
Well, I didn't know if like for bonus action if you could hold it also or not.
Hold it to use as your reaction,
Like,
later.
Right, like if anyone gets damaged, heal them, kind of thing.
I have no idea.
Don't worry about it.
Holding. I don't think you can hold a.
I don't think you could
Bonus
either
action,
because holding
yeah.
an action like is your action. Like it takes
Right.
a whole
Yeah,
action
it's
to
like-
hold something. So I don't think you could
Yeah.
do it on that.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
takes a whole action to hold an action.
I just googled it. You can't you can't hold a bonus.
Well, look at that. There we go.
Okay.
There we go. Nice.
All right.
Today I learned.
So we zoom back into the web realm, into the security system at the core of Heihachi Corp's data shredder. We find this AI that's struggling to get out, struggling to infect the system, fighting against the shredder and also fighting against Viper, who's valiantly defending it. We have another contested hacking check. Viper, you ready?
Ready.
You got it.
All right,
Just don't roll
let's see it.
shitty this time.
Yeah.
What if I told you I rolled?
What did you roll?
Butts. So a 3 plus a this is 6, 9, and then plus 2 is 11.
So you rolled exactly the same. And in a contested hacking check, it's in the realm of, if you think about it like a joust. In the last pass, you nailed your opponent with your lance, and he did not hit you. But in this pass, as your digital horses pass each other, you both hit each other. So while the AI struggles and screams and takes another lockdown point, so do you.
I'm at 3 now. What does that mean?
No, so your lockdown points reset upon exiting a system, so you're only at 1.
Oh, heck yeah. All right.
Good. We're golden.
Love that.
Good.
Love that for me.
And you can see, like, the shredder is working. This AI is starting to come apart. It's starting to disintegrate, but there's still enough oomph there. There's enough, intelligence there that if it can get to the system, it can still infect it and escape.
Do I see Alice at all in this space? Is she like present in the system?
So she's standing
as an avatar.
She's standing. Her avatar is standing quietly over the ice, just like watching this happen. But you can see, actually, on the underside of the ice, there is a form that looks like it's standing upside down on the underside of the ice.
Yeah.
That you recognize as her AI, and it hasn't gotten sucked up and shredded yet. It's just standing underneath where she is.
Okay, so you might be okay.
Let's
Maybe.
see. So, with the end of Viper's turn, another successful lockdown point check, we go back to Ben. Ben, zooming out of the virtual world into the very real, where there are a number of droids who all want you very dead.
The one that's next to me, I'm going to attack that one because he's about dead. And he's Ben looks at his hands and he grips them so hard in the battery. There's like battery acid that forms that leaks all around his hands, and he's using a primal savagery cantrip to make a melee attack against them.
Yeah.
With this. And he rolls a 17.
That will hit.
And they take 2d10 acid damage, which is 18 points of
Nice.
boom, a 10 on one of those. That was good. Much better than my ass shotgun.
Shit gun.
All right, this thing has, like, you punch deep into its guts, and you can see the acid, like, frying away at its components. And there's, like, this thing has, like, a couple holes in it now. It's barely standing up.
Ooh, okay.
But it is now that droid's turn.
Has to make a saving throw.
That's true, it does.
Definitely gonna die.
Oh, it made it 18! So it's going to take half. Half damage from those digital guardians.
Die.
Please die.
So half would be, it's 13. So your call if it's
Half
6 or
is
7.
6. You have to round it
6.
out.
Yep.
So it is hurt. It's like bleeding. It's so damaged. But it's still got enough life in it to fire its weapon. And it fires its gel shot at Ben, because Ben is right in front of it.
Yeah, probably smarter than aiming at Lad, who's unhittable, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Does a 16 hit?
It hits my AC. That hits.
Okay. You are going to take 6 bludgeoning damage, and then he's going to fire again. Oh, and he hits a nat 1.
Nope.
So he fires this shot, and it breezes past your hair and hits one of the other riot drones on the other side of the room.
He was trying to mimic me. He was trying to bend over and shoot it underneath his legs.
Yeah.
doing 11 points of damage. So that drone takes it in the chest. The 3 new drones all turn to face the center of the room, and rather than attack, all of them are going to use their dash actions.
They're all still blind and deafened.
Oh, good point. They are blind, aren't they? Okay.
And they probably have to make that same saving throw that they all had to make before.
They do. They have to make saving throws, and they're going to try to find their way into the center of the room. They have this memory of where it is. They're going to try to get there. What I will do to account for their blindness is I will roll what I've done in the past. I'll roll a die, a D4, and they will run in a random cardinal direction. To determine which way they run, we'll roll a D4. 1 north, 2 east, 3 south, 4 west. But first, let's do their saving throws for damage. 5, 6. None of them pass.
That would be 13 each.
Okay. The first one runs west, which is actually back out the door he just came through. So one drone sprints out of the room.
Dashing.
Yes, dashing a full 60 feet. One runs north into a wall, and he takes 3 points of bludgeoning damage. And one runs south. So runs directly south along the railing, behind one of the computer banks in this room, and ends up being kind of down toward where Ben and Dasher are. And dashes far enough, reaches his 60 feet of running without hitting anything, and just stops. Okay. But he also, so for blindness, he needs to do what for a saving throw?
It'll just end on my turn.
It ends on your turn. Yeah. Got it. Okay. In that case, actually, it's up to the top of the order again, Dasher. So it's after this turn, he will no longer be blind.
Correct. Actually, they're no longer. It says blind up until the start of my turn, so they are now no longer blind.
There you go. All right.
Not to take away my advantage, but
So Dasher, as you're beginning to act, the door in the northeast corner opens, and 3 more riot drones come through.
Oh my gosh!
Well,
saving throw.
Oh yeah, they all got to make that damn saving throw. Good spell.
Y'all protected me so good. Thank you.
All right. What was the DC? Is it 16?
Yes.
Okay, they all fail it.
It's only 7 this time.
7 damage.
Okay. I will take a thumper shot at whoever's in the middle of those 3 that came in. So that will be please be a good roll, a 24 to hit.
That hits.
Great. That is 20 damage to the one in front, and then anybody adjacent due to the blast weapon properties taking 10 as well.
Nice.
And then,
solid damage.
Yeah, and then I will... Yeah, fuck it. I'll throw my last smoke bomb at them, too, to fill up the area that they're in now with smoke. So they can't...
Okay.
They effectively can't see either. They're basically blinded in the cloud.
And how remind me how wide the cloud is?
I would love to, as soon as I find where I put it on this sheet. It is a 20-foot radius sphere of smoke that appears.
So it extends about 10 feet into the corridor behind them because the door is open, and then about 10 feet in front of them. So, lad, if you're turning to look from where you are, this smoke covers about half the distance between where the door is and where you are. And lad, it's your turn.
All right. I guess from the original 3 that came in, are there any left?
There's 1 left, and it's on its very last legs.
All right, I'm gonna target that one with this neon flame attack for dexterity 16.
Rolls 17.
Actually, I think that means it takes no damage.
This is a cantrip, then it would take none.
Yeah, it takes none.
So unfortunately, in the excitement,
Yeah.
you miss. Goes flying past it.
That's all good. I've done enough damage.
Yeah. I mean,
Certainly
literally
absorbed
just
enough.
standing there, you're doing more
Yes.
than anyone else. So.
Say, there's a good chance that this thing is gonna die just standing where it is. So next up is Viper.
Okay. I'll go ahead and roll, I guess. Right? Yeah.
Viper, those thunderclouds are rolling in. The system is getting ready to dump somebody, whether it's going to be you or the AI.
That was almost a 1. Almost.
Almost.
Okay.
What did you roll?
13 plus 6, 9 plus 2, 21.
It rolls an 18, so you beat it,
Yes.
and it's held in place. Viper's held this AI in place and allowed the system to do what it's supposed to do. And you see the last few tendrils of this enormously powerful, incredibly intelligent, malicious AI eviscerated in the scalding light of the system. And as it's gone, it's like the system was hitting a rough point in its processing, and it suddenly clears through, and everything else from under the ice gets sucked up into this beam and eviscerated. And you realize you have a moment. There's a moment coming, because it looks like Alice is slowly walking toward this light, as is the AI underneath the ice. And you realize you have a moment here, if you want to shut the system down and maybe preserve this one last AI, if you want.
I would like to prevent Alice from going into the light.
Okay.
She seems okay enough, you know?
You just ended the fucking
She's just
world.
Yeah. Alice has become Skynet.
Yeah.
And it's over.
I'm sure Alice is fine. She reminds me of someone.
So she walks over to you, and she holds her hand out to take your hand.
Get out of here. Grab her hand.
So as you grab her hand, everything goes black. And when I say everything, I mean everything. You're cast out of the system to complete darkness. The lights in this lab have gone out.
Oh.
There are little emergency lights that are along the floor. But you hear the loud clanging of riot drones falling over because they know their servo motors are no longer working, because every single system connected to what Alice was just tapped into has just shut down. The claxons are gone. The ever shrieking claxons are gone. The red lights are gone. In the half light of the lab, you see Alice sit up slowly and hop off the bed and look around at you. And then she walks over to Viper as Viper's taking her. The tendrils of her wrist snake back from the data port, which is now dead. And she walks over to Viper and takes her hand, and she kind of looks up, very innocent-like, squeezes your hand and says, "Follow me. I know the way."
Huh. Okay. Also, a question. Do we still have the dark vision?
So, yes, you can see, your dark vision allows you to see in grays kind of everything there. And so you can see enough to walk. But Alice slowly leads you out down the corridor, assuming you follow with her. But as you're passing down the corridors, you see that all the doors that were closed and sealed are now have slid open and are just standing open. And in each of these rooms, the systems that were running, the computers that were keeping this place alive are all dead, are all black. And you can't see a single ley line in this entire place, Viper. Stretching out kind of between the walls, past where you can see, you can't see any network connectivity in this place at all. You walk past the deactivated drone turret, and the infrared cameras are off. You walk actually back to the entrance to this lab, and instead of turning right toward the lift where you ascended into this place, Alice actually pulls you left down this cavernous hallway that forms the base of the pyramid and out toward the main entrance. And you can see there are still people that are kind of panicking. They're running past. There's low-level emergency lights where people are trying to figure out where they are, what's happening. There's screaming, there's crying, there are people milling around, not sure what to do. And
Alice, why are we going this way?
she just doesn't say anything. She just quietly leads you out through this mass of people who, with their technological power gone, are left not knowing what to do. And she leads you out what is now the completely powered down, deactivated front gates of the Heihachi Corp pyramid tower and into the street. And you can see that the lights, not only just in the tower, but over the whole complex, are gone. And she turns to you, looking at Viper. She says, I know what you did in there. And I don't know that it was smart, but I know that I appreciate it. And you can see she's kind of like, whereas her speech before had been kind of simplistic, it's like she had so much processing power dedicated to this one thing of keeping all the other AIs inside, keeping them locked down, that now she has all this freedom. Now that she has all this processing power, she can kind of be a little more present and a little more engaged.
I walk up to Alice and I put my hand on her back and I said, Alice, you're family now. We won't leave you behind.
I think she's the one who might leave us behind. And remember who it was who helped you, Alice. All of us.
She kind of cocks her head. She looks around at the black complex behind her and the bright neon lit streets of New Lisbon City in front of her. And she turns to Ben and she goes, never had a family before, but I could try.
Alice, who do you serve?
No one, I guess. My primary programming is complete. I did my job. I suppose I serve me.
Okay.
That's a good way to live.
Yeah.
For the first time, Alice, in her short artificial life, Alice steps into the streetlights below Lisbon City as a free and independent person in her own body, ready to see what lies in front of her, hopefully aided by the members of her new family.
Dang.
Why not?
And that's where we conclude our episode.
The camera pans up as Alice is walking into this new Lisbon that has been set free from technology, and back into the tavern, the Tall Tale Tavern in Neo Tokyo, and our storyteller, the cybernetic eye man, finishes his drink and finishes his story, and all is quiet in the tavern for a moment, and then the cybernetic whirring of augmented reality projection devices is heard from every data shelf lining the walls. Soon, augmented reality papers start swirling rapidly through the air between chairs and under the plasteel tables. They coalesce in the center, rapidly filling a small data stick floating in the air. The air is quiet once again as golden letters light up on the side of the stick, and the title, Crowning AI-chievement, is clearly seen. The data stick gracefully makes its way to one of the shelves lining the walls and finds its place among the stories. The bald bartender with a large brown mustache smiles as he casually cleans a glass with his towel and then leaves through the back door of the tavern, behind the bar. Thank you all to all the players this week, Mav, Scott, Ballistic Kitty, and Landfell. Their socials can be found in the description. If you want to see a video of this episode, it'll be up on our YouTube. Follow us at Tall Tale Tavern Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. If you like us, give us one of those good 5-star reviews. Join our Discord too. Thank you to Tyler Adelsberger for our music. Thank you to Zazar for our artwork. And with that, we will see you next time at the Tall Tale Tavern. Woo!
I like to think that the robot that ran backwards is going to just somehow run toward the claymore that I set up.
Oh, good.
Earlier.
He found it.